Chapter 1389. If you can't afford to lose, then don't compete. You're embarrassing yourself. Yi Chen-feng said disdainfully as he coldly glanced at Li Qianni, who had flown into a rage out of embarrassment. Fengchen, do you dare to swear that you didn't cheat? Li Qianni said angrily. I think everyone here knows how difficult it is to comprehend a sacred skill. No one can cultivate it to the 9th level in such a short time. Sigh. I realize that you're not only a frog in the well, you're also a clown. Yi Chen-feng sighed and said with disdain, in this world, there are so many absolute things. If you haven't seen it, it means it doesn't exist. What a joke. Yi Chen-feng's words were like knives that stabbed into Li Qianni's heart, making him angry and angry. Fengchen, tell me honestly, did you cultivate the dragon-subduing rod? What? You can't afford to lose, and you're starting to bite people. Yi Chen-feng sneered. So you're saying that I colluded with His Majesty to play you? I'm not suspecting His Majesty. I'm suspecting you. Although Li Qianni was angry, he did not lose his mind. He roared, I'm 100% sure that you cheated. This competition doesn't count. It doesn't count just because you say so. Who do you think you are? Yi Chen-feng said coldly. State Preceptor Sakya, can you announce the results now? Wait a moment. The frowning Li Fengxing suddenly spoke. Your Majesty, Guisher, today's matter is indeed a bit unimaginable, unusual. For the sake of the fairness of the competition, and even more for Princess Han Yan's happiness, I suggest we confirm it. How do you want to confirm it? Qi Qingtian said with a gloomy face. It was obvious that Li Qianni's words made him angry. My Thousand Tribulations orders Doomsday Disaster is also a sacred skill. If he can comprehend it in one day and cultivate it to the highest level, my Thousand Tribulations order will recognize his achievement. If he can't, then his achievement will be nullified. Even though Li Fengxing could hear the anger in Qi Qingtian's voice, he could not back down at that moment. He suggested sinisterly. Sect Leader Li, isn't your suggestion a bit too much? Qi Qingtian said coldly. Okay, I'll make it a little easier. There's no need to lower the difficulty. Yi Chen-feng suddenly interrupted Li Fengxing and said, as long as the cultivation formula provided by Sect Leader Li is complete, there won't be any problem. I am confident that I can fully comprehend your Wanjie sect's sacred level supernatural power in one day and cultivate it to the highest level. You're confident? Qi Qingtian's snow-white eyebrows twitched as he asked with great interest. The confident Yi Chen-feng nodded and said, but before that, I want to add a bet. I'll bet 50 mid-grade heaven crystals. If I can cultivate Doomsday Disaster to the highest level in one day, Wanjie sect will compensate me with 50 mid-grade heaven crystals to correct my reputation. If I fail, I'll compensate them with 50 mid-grade heaven crystals. Humph, you have 50 mid-grade heaven crystals. Low-grade heaven crystals were already extremely precious in the Central Great World, let alone mid-grade heaven crystals. Li Fengxing did not believe that Yi Chen-feng could take out 50 mid-grade heaven crystals. Whether I can take it out or not is my business. Now, I'm asking you, do you dare to bet? If you don't, then shut up. I don't have time to play games with you. Yi Chen-feng looked at Li Fengxing's gloomy face and sneered. Okay, I'll bet with you. Although Li Fengxing smelled something unusual when Yi Chen-feng proposed a bet, for the sake of Wanjie sect's reputation, he had no choice but to agree. Okay, hurry up and give me the cultivation formula of Doomsday Disaster. The sooner I comprehend it, the sooner I'll end it. Yi Chen-feng urged impatiently. Here, Li Fengxing's eyes revealed a fierce look. He took out a dark golden jade scroll engraved with a large number of Dao patterns from his Qingquan ring. He lightly flicked his finger and threw it at Yi Chen-feng. Although it seemed like a casual flick, Li Fengxing was a Nirvana heavenly realm expert after all. He wanted to teach Yi Chen-feng a lesson, so he secretly absorbed the Dao intent into the jade scroll. Therefore, the jade scroll he flicked out was quite powerful. Ordinary Nirvana experts would have a hard time catching it. However, Yi Chen-feng's physical body was extremely strong. The God-Eater brain quickly deduced Li Fengxing's secret move. The power of the 5 acupoints in his body erupted. The power of the heaven-suppressing orb, Saint Blood Orb, and Dead Spirit Orb gathered in his right hand. With a light grab, he caught the dark gold jade scroll that was flying toward him at high speed. The will of the great path within the jade scroll was completely dispersed by the three sacred orbs. Sec Masterly, did you not eat? Your strength is so weak. How disappointing, Yi Chenfeng purposely said. Li Fengxing's face darkened in anger. However, Yi Chenfeng's strength shocked him. Sage Master Feng, take a rest. Let me know when you're ready. I'll start the countdown. Imperial Preceptor Shiga felt that Yi Chenfeng was not simple, especially when he saw Yi Chenfeng catch the Jade Scroll. It surprised him even more. No need to rest. Let's start now. With that, Yi Chenfeng sat cross-legged on the ground. He controlled the God Eater Brain to break the seal on the Jade Scroll. He released a powerful soul energy and penetrated it. At that moment, a huge funnel appeared in the sky. Large amounts of sand began to flow. Yi Chenfeng controlled the God Eater Brain to quickly deduce the Doomsday Disaster cultivation method. After finding no problems, he calmed down and began to understand it with the help of the God Eater Brain. Your Majesty, do you think Sage Master Feng can cultivate Doomsday Disaster to the highest level in a day? Lord Coiling Devil had heard of Doomsday Disaster before. He knew that it was one of the two strongest abilities of the Thousand Calamity Order. It was extremely difficult to cultivate. It shouldn't be a problem. Qi Qingtian thought more highly of Yi Chenfeng. He was even more curious about his identity. How did the Central World give birth to such a monster? Lord Coiling Devil could not help but sigh when he thought of Yi Chenfeng's unfathomable alchemy skills, terrifying talent, and comprehension of the Tao. Even Qi Dongyi, the Emperor of the Octahead Kingdom, who had cultivated to nirvana at such a young age, was far from Yi Chenfeng's level. Doomsday Disaster was to unleash the Tao of Death to the extreme. It formed the sun-extinguishing attack. With the help of the God Eater Brain, Yi Chenfeng quickly grasped the essentials of cultivating Doomsday Disaster. With the Death Spirit Orb, he cultivated the Tao diagram of life and death to the Spirit diagram realm. Cultivating Doomsday Disaster was even easier. Seconds and minutes passed. Large amounts of Qi of Death permeated his body and dyed the space around him black. When half of the sand in the funnel was gone, the Tao of Death permeating Yi Chenfeng's body quickly gathered. It formed a pitch-black ring of Doomsday Disaster. Doomsday Disaster Stage 1. The Doomsday Calamity was split into 3 stages. Each stage condensed an apocalyptic star. Seeing Yi Chenfeng cultivate the Doomsday Calamity to the first stage in a short half a day shattered the doubts in everyone's hearts. How could this be? How could his talent be so high? Li Qianni clenched his fists tightly. His mind was in a daze. He could not accept the reality before him. After about an hour, the second Doomsday Disaster appeared on Yi Chenfeng's body. It rose into the air, evolving the Tao and unleashing the power of death. Seeing Yi Chenfeng cultivate Doomsday Disaster to the second stage in such a short time, Li Qianni was completely dumbfounded. The pride in his heart was trampled to pieces by Yi Chenfeng's talent. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button below to record your reading history. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1390. Your Majesty, this Feng Chen's potential is too terrifying. If we can get him to join us, we might have a chance to surpass Jiutian Divine Nation and become the #1 divine nation in the Central World. Witnessing Yi Chenfeng's unbelievable talent and perception, Imperial Preceptor Sakya was full of praises. He transmitted his voice to Qi Qingtian, who was deep in thought. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test this Feng Chen was indeed too amazing. However, such an amazing person was not easy to control. Qi Qingtian transmitted his voice. If we control him well, he will be a blessing to our divine nation. If not, he will be a disaster to our divine nation. Your Majesty, you are worried about him. Imperial Preceptor Sakya transmitted his voice. This Feng Chen's rise is too sudden and too strange. Until now, no one knows his identity and background. This is not a good thing. The shrewd Qi Cheng'an transmitted his voice, while Qi Chengtian was transmitting his voice to Imperial Preceptor Sakya. Yi Chenfeng's body released boundless death Tao will. It soared into the sky and formed a third doomsday in the void, devouring all the light in the space. In less than a day, he had cultivated the doomsday disaster to the third level, crushing the last trace of hope in Li Fengxing's heart. It also dealt a heavy blow to Li Qianni's pride. Sect Leader Li, what do you have to say now? Imperial Preceptor Sakya took a deep look at Yi Chenfeng, then shifted his gaze to the pale-faced Li Fengxing. He asked in a low voice. Tianni lost the first round of perception. Li Fengxing spat out a few words with difficulty and admitted defeat helplessly. And this admission of defeat was undoubtedly a double loss for the Thousand Tribulations sect. One should know that the Doomsday Disaster was the foundation of the Thousand Tribulations sect. It had never been passed down to outsiders, but now Yi Chenfeng had mastered it in a single day. Moreover, he had lost 50 mid-grade heavenly crystals to Yi Chenfeng. This loss was enough to hurt the Thousand Tribulations sect. Sect Leader Li, when will you give me the 50 mid-grade heavenly crystals? Yi Chenfeng dispelled the 3 black apocalypses hovering above his head and slowly stood up. He looked at Li Fengxing, who was extremely unsettled, and asked, Mid-grade heaven crystals are too precious, and I only have 13 of them. But don't worry, my Thousand Calamity sect isn't a person who goes back on his word. I'll definitely gather 50 mid-grade heaven crystals in 3 days. Li Fengxing suppressed the anger in his heart and promised helplessly, I don't trust your Wanjia cult's reputation. Yi Chenfeng ignored Li Fengxing's flaming eyes and said, How about this? Give me 13 mid-grade heavenly crystals first, and then write me an IOU. Li Fengxing was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He didn't expect Yi Chenfeng to be so despicable, humiliating them again and again. Yi Chenfeng sneered and said aggressively, Wan Zhijiao's 10,000 years old reputation is going to be ruined in your hands. I'll write you an IOU. Under the watchful eyes of so many people, Li Fengxing could not refuse at all. Once he refused, the reputation of the Thousand Tribulations sect would be ruined. He could only grit his teeth and write an IOU in humiliation. He then threw 13 mid-grade heaven crystals to Yi Chenfeng. Your Majesty, let's begin the second round of the competition. Yi Chenfeng suggested as he looked at Li Fengxing, who was about to vomit blood, and Li Qianni, who was clenching his fists. You don't need to rest? Qi Chengtian asked with a thought-provoking smile. Yi Chenfeng said confidently, There's no challenge in competing with me, so I don't need to rest. Li Qianni, do you need to rest? Qi Chengtian asked in a low voice as he looked at Li Qianni, who was humiliated and bulging veins on his forehead. I don't need it either. After losing to Yi Chenfeng in the comprehension competition, Li Qianni had no way out. If he lost again, he wouldn't have another chance. All right then, follow me to the 9-layered demon cave for the competition of wills. As he spoke, Qi Chengtian led the group through layers of restrictions and arrived at a sinister and terrifying valley in the depths of the Demon Mountain. In the deepest part of the valley was a demon's den that was filled with powerful, illusory energy. Have you too heard of the 9-layered demon cave? Sakya asked as he looked at Yi Chenfeng and Li Qianni, who were outside the cave. No. Yi Chenfeng and Li Qianni shook their heads and said in unison, The 9-layered illusory demon cave is a saint item left behind by my octave divine kingdom's ancestor. It contains powerful illusory power and is divided into 9 layers. Each layer has a different illusory power. Entering the 9-layered illusory demon cave will produce all kinds of illusions. The further down you go, the more terrifying the illusions will be and the more intense the pain will be. No matter who it is, they only have 6 hours to enter the 9-layered demon cave. In the countless years of the Orochi royal family, only 9 people have passed through all 9 layers of the 9-layered demon cave in 6 hours. When they reached the end, Sakya gave a detailed introduction and asked, All right, who will go first? I'll go first. Yi Chen-feng said as he glanced at the nine-layered demon cave that was sealed within a powerful restriction. Sakya nodded and forcefully opened the restriction at the entrance of the nine-layered demon cave. He handed Li Tianyi a teleportation stone and said, "Feng's sage master, the illusions in the nine-layered demon cave are deadly. If you can't withstand the illusions, crush the teleportation stone and leave immediately. You'll lose your life if you stay." "I understand." Yi Chen-feng nodded. Holding the teleportation stone in his hand, he walked into the nine-layered demon cave, which was filled with powerful restrictions. Buzz, buzz, buzz. As soon as Yi Chen-feng walked into the nine-layered demon cave, a large number of illusions appeared in front of him and confused his mind. Glacier Yi Chen-feng didn't panic as he looked at the glacial world in front of him. The illusory spirit Dao diagram floated above his head, dispelling the illusory power that was surging like water. He quickly flew into the depths of the nine-layered demon cave. Not only did he cultivate 4 Dao intents, but he also cultivated all of them to the spirit diagram realm. When Yi Chen-feng entered the nine-layered demon cave, the mirror above the nine-layered demon cave reflected the scene inside. When everyone saw the spirit-level illusion Dao diagram above Yi Chen-feng's head, they all exclaimed in surprise. Who would have thought that Feng Chen's attainments in the Dao intensive illusion would be so deep? With the spirit-level illusion Dao diagram protecting him, he should be able to enter the 7-layered demon cave in 6 hours. Convergent Demon King praised. Yes, he's lucky. This Feng Chen might be able to enter the 8-layered demon cave, or even the 9-layered demon cave. Qi Chantian nodded and revealed a trace of anticipation. Hearing the conversation between Qi Chantian and Convergent Demon King, Li Fengxing's expression became even more gloomy. Li Tianyi's arrogant heart took another blow. At this moment, seeing Yi Chen-feng cultivate the spirit-level illusion Dao diagram, a trace of despair appeared in his heart, and his battle intent was greatly reduced. 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 4th floor. Yi Chen-feng ignored the increasingly terrifying illusions in the 9-layered demon cave and used more than 2 hours to arrive at the 6-layered demon cave. This shocking speed was completely out of everyone's expectations. Even Qi Qingtian could not help but be amazed and praise him. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click the save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1391. This 9-layer demon cave is truly not simple. The power of illusions in this 6-layer demon space is actually able to penetrate the spirit-level Dao diagram and invade my soul sea. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test standing in the 6-layer demon space. Yi Chen-feng took a deep breath and stepped into the sea of lightning. Rumble, 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 rumble. As soon as he entered the sea of lightning, endless bolts of lightning exploded, crazily destroying his body, wanting to destroy him. If one was lost in this illusion and couldn't extricate themselves, their consciousness would collapse and they would die. Yi Chen-feng closed his eyes and controlled the God-Eater brain to protect his mind and soul sea as he quickly flew into the sea of lightning. As he flew into the depths of the sea of lightning, Yi Chen-feng's body was constantly blasted apart by the terrifying bolts of lightning, revealing his white bones. However, Yi Chen-feng didn't notice this at all and continued to fly faster. Bang bang! The terrifying bolts of lightning attacked him for an incense stick's worth of time. Yi Chen-feng was riddled with wounds, and his legs exploded. Following that, his waist was also blasted apart by the bolts of lightning. Endless bolts of lightning crazily drilled into his body, wanting to destroy his entire body. What a realistic illusion! Although his physical body was almost destroyed by the violent lightning, there was no trace of panic on Yi Chen-feng's face. Under the rapid deduction of the God-Eater brain, he knew that all of this was fake. It was an illusion. If he felt fear in his heart, he would be completely confused by all of this. He would be lost here and lose his life. Feng Chen's willpower was simply too strong. The six-layer demon space's illusions didn't affect him at all. It seemed that he really could enter the eight-layer demon space within this limited time. Seeing Yi Chunfeng flying at such a high speed with only his head remaining, many people sighed emotionally. As for Li Tianyi, seeing Yi Chunfeng charge into the demon cave, his face turned pale. In this seemingly real environment, he didn't know if he would be completely lost. Very quickly, Yi Chunfeng crossed the sixth-layer Huanma space and arrived at the seventh-layer Huanma space, standing in a sea of raging flames. Flying into the distorted space of the sea of fire, the God-Eater brain completely restrained the erosion of the illusion. Yi Chunfeng closed his eyes, ignoring the changes in his body, and quickly flew to the eighth Huanma space. Was Feng Chun going to create another miracle by breaking into the eighth layer of the mythical illusion space in just 2 hours? Witnessing Yi Chunfeng disregarding the illusions and moving at extreme speed, a bold idea appeared in the minds of surging Devil King and the others. They had a feeling that Yi Chunfeng might really be able to create a miracle by crossing the 9-layer demon space and reaching the end. Space cracks, so many space cracks. Yi Chunfeng felt the space shattering continuously. The spatial cracks were like a huge mouth, but Yi Chunfeng did not slow down, nor did he dodge. Instead, he turned into a series of afterimages and dashed forward rapidly. As he moved forward, he was repeatedly swallowed up by the terrifying spatial rifts and minced into pieces. However, he adhered to his heart and ignored all fear and despair as he continued forward. He withstood the increasingly powerful illusory force and slowly approached the last layer of space. 9th layer. He had entered the 9-layer demon space. When Li Tianyi saw Yi Chunfeng step into the endless 9-layer illusory demon cave that was as bright as day, he lost all hope. However, when Yi Chunfeng stepped into the 9-layer demon cave, Qi Qingtian and the others' eyes lit up. The 9-layer demon cave was also known as the heart space. Entering this place would awaken the most fundamental fear in one's heart and reveal some of one's secrets. And Yi Chunfeng's secrets were what Qi Qingtian wanted to see the most. What kind of power was this? When Yi Chunfeng arrived in the 9 layers of the illusory demon cave, he felt a strange energy enter his soul sea, making him instinctively feel fear and despair. It awakened the secrets hidden in the depths of his heart and revealed them to him. Not good. There was something wrong with the 9-layer demon cave. Seeing the familiar scene before him, Yi Chunfeng was shocked. He quickly controlled the spirit of illusion Dao diagram to weaken the power of the illusions in the 9-layer demon cave. He also controlled the God-Eater brain to devour the illusions in his soul, shattering the familiar scenes before him. Seeing the scenes before Yi Chunfeng shattering, Qi Qingtian's calm face revealed a look of surprise. He was shocked that Yi Chunfeng was able to resist the illusions in the 9-layer demon cave. However, in the fleeting scene just now, he saw a person he didn't want to see the most, Goddess Luo. This Feng Chun was related to the guardian of the human race, Goddess Luo. Qi Qingtian's brows were tightly knitted together as thoughts flashed through his mind. His deep eyes emitted rays of cold light. Using the God-Eater brain's power to shatter the secret scenes in his heart, Yi Chunfeng quickly flew toward the end of the 9-layer demon cave. Although the closer he got to the end, the more terrifying the illusions in the 9-layer demon cave became. The God-Eater brain was too terrifying. It devoured all the illusions that had invaded Yi Chunfeng's soul. Finally, when it was close to 6 hours later, Yi Chunfeng tore through the space and arrived at the end of the space. He smashed an illusory door with one punch and left the Jiufeng demon cave, appearing in the outside world. Silence. Absolute silence. Seeing Yi Chunfeng pass through the 9-layer demon cave unscathed, Imperial Preceptor Sakya and the others were all dumbfounded. They stared at Yi Chunfeng as if he was a monster. However, Yi Chunfeng was also a little nervous. He didn't know if Qi Qingtian and the others had seen his secret through the scenes just now. If they did, there would be trouble. Feng Saint Master, you're much more outstanding than I imagined. It's Yen Er's fortune to be able to marry you. and it's even more so for the Orochi royal family. Qi Qingtian looked at Yi Chunfeng with cloudy eyes and said in a deep voice. His calm expression made it impossible for others to guess his true thoughts. Your Majesty, although I know there's no chance for me to turn the tables, I still want to try the 9-layer demon cave. Please grant me my wish, Your Majesty. Li Qianni clenched his fist tightly and begged reluctantly. At this moment, he was no longer as high-spirited as before. His pride had been completely crushed by Yi Chunfeng. All right, I'll give you a chance. Qi Qingtian nodded. Whoosh! Li Qianni took a deep breath and tried to calm himself down. He held the teleportation stone in his hand and entered the 9-layer demon cave. After experiencing it himself, Li Qianni finally understood how terrifying the difficulty of the 9-layer demon cave was. Although he had a strong martial arts heart and tried his best to stay true to himself and not be affected by the illusions, he couldn't hold on any longer when he reached the 4th layer of the 9-layer demon cave. Tortured by the terrifying aura of death, he instinctively crushed the teleportation stone in his hand and left the 4-layer demon cave. I've already won 2 out of the 3 matches. Your Majesty, can you agree to my marriage proposal now? Yi Chunfeng glanced at Li Qianni, who was lying on the ground with a pale face, and asked, Fengshen, I admit that my comprehension and willpower are not as good as yours, but do you dare to admit that your martial arts are not as good as mine? Although he had lost completely, Li Qianni was still unwilling to give up. He bit his lips and stood up from the ground. He was determined to defeat Yi Chunfeng and regain some face. What? You still want to fight me one last time? Yi Chunfeng looked at the pale and bloodshot Li Qianni and asked in disdain. That's right, do you dare? Li Qianni clenched his teeth and provoked. All right, since you want to experience another blow, I'll grant you your wish. Yi Chunfeng smiled and happily agreed. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1392. Since you insist on the duel, the final duel will take place 2 days later at the palace's arena. Qi Qingtian stood up slowly. He looked at the calm Yi Chunfeng and the anxious Li Qianni and announced loudly, Thank you, Your Majesty. Li Qianni's blood-red eyes were filled with killing intent. He glanced at Yi Chunfeng, who had brought him endless humiliation, and said in a low voice, However, Sage Master Feng has already won 2 duels, so, no matter the result, he will be the prince consort of the Octahead Kingdom and Yan Er's future husband. Out of everyone's expectations, Qi Qingtian suddenly announced, Fengshen, just you wait. If I can't have her, you won't have her either. I will kill you in the duel and shatter your dreams. Li Qianni clenched his fists and gritted his teeth as he swore in his heart. Thank you, Your Majesty. Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly, speaking neither haughtily nor humbly. Fengshen, can you give me the map of the outer region of sky beyond? Qi Qingtian looked at Yi Chunfeng calmly and said, I am very interested in the map of the outer region of sky beyond. All right. Yi Chunfeng nodded. He took out the map of outer sky that he obtained from Astral King and handed it to Qi Qingtian. All right, today's duel is over. Everyone go back and rest. After receiving the map, Qi Qingtian let out a rare smile and announced loudly. After returning to Jade House, Yi Chunfeng immediately set up a restriction in his room and closed his eyes to recall everything that happened today. Sigh, this is not good. Yi Chunfeng sighed softly. He was worried that when he got lost in the 9-layered illusory demon cave, he exposed some of his secrets and let Qi Qingtian find out. However, Song Kunwu, who consumed a large amount of spiritual items, had basically stabilized his cultivation as a 4-star divine saint. With him and Lei Yi, Yi Chunfeng felt that he could escape unscathed even if something unexpected happened. After pondering for a moment, Yi Chunfeng entered the Cosmos Mirror. He took out the ancient barbarian snake's skin, which had a defensive power comparable to a low-grade sacred artifact. He also took out several top-grade refining stones that he had obtained from killing his enemies earlier. He planned to refine the ancient barbarian snake's skin into an inner armor and were to increase his defensive power. While he was refining the ancient barbarian snake skin with the sky-burning sacred flame and the vermilion bird cauldron in the universe realm, the ancient courtyard rented by the Thousand Tribulation sect was so oppressive that it was hard to breathe. If I don't get my revenge, I'm not a man. I'll kill him with my own hands. Feeling humiliated, Li Tianyi clenched his fists and said with killing intent, Tianyi, I know that you want to use the martial arts competition to kill Feng Chun, but Feng Chun isn't simple at all. His strength is probably even more terrifying than we thought. Challenging him like this isn't a wise decision. Li Fengxing shook his head as he looked at Li Tianyi, who had lost control of his emotions. Father, please help me. I can't lose again. Li Tianyi clenched his fists and begged. Sigh, Tianyi, I can help you, but you have to think about the consequences of killing Feng Chun in front of everyone. Li Fengxing put down the teacup in his hand and said seriously, Feng Chen's talent is too terrifying. He's also the youngest Saint Master in the Central World. If you kill him in front of everyone, you might anger Qi, Chantian, and the Octave Kingdom. I know, but that Yi Chun Feng has become my inner demon. If I can't kill him with my own hands, my martial path will stop here. Li Tianyi clenched his teeth and said unwillingly, All right, since you've made up your mind, I won't try to persuade you anymore. I'll lend you the Thousand Tribulation sect's greatest treasure, the mid-grade saint artifact, the Thousand Tribulation flag. With the Thousand Tribulation flag, you should be invincible. However, I still don't recommend killing Feng Chun. If we kill him, we'll have to rely on the Kirin Kingdom. Li Fengxing took a deep breath and took out an ancient flag with mountains and rivers engraved on it. He gave it to Li Tianyi. Thank you, Father. After receiving the Thousand Tribulation sect's greatest treasure, Li Tianyi calmed down. His blood-red eyes shone with a cold light as he said in his heart, Feng Chun, the humiliation you brought me, I'll return it to you tenfold, no, 100-fold. I'll make you kneel on the ground like a dog and beg me to let you go. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye. After 2 days of refining, Yi Qinfeng refined a large amount of top-grade materials into the ancient barbarian snake skin. He refined the extremely tough ancient barbarian snake skin into an inner armor and wore it on his body. Li Tianyi, I know you want to kill me, but I also want to kill you. Yi Qinfeng was very satisfied with the defense of the ancient barbarian snake skin inner armor. With the golden dragon robe, even a low-grade saint artifact wouldn't be able to break through his defense. When Yi Qinfeng, who was ready, walked out of the main room, a smile appeared on his face. He saw Shui Hanyan, who was wearing a tight-fitting aqua blue skirt that accentuated her graceful figure. Her long and beautiful legs were exposed to the air, and her pink lips revealed an enchanting curve. She was looking at him lovingly. What? You want to go to the arena too? Yi Qinfeng walked to Shui Hanyan's side and smelled the faint fragrance coming from her body. Yes, I want to see my future husband show off his might for me and defeat his love rival. Shui Hanyan took the initiative to hug Yi Qinfeng's arm and walked with him intimately into the arena, which was filled with killing intent, filled with weapons of all shapes and sizes, and filled with many people. Li Tianyi, who had arrived early, saw Shui Hanyan hugging Yi Qinfeng's arm and walking intimately with him. His expression immediately darkened. Shui Hanyan's action was undoubtedly a slap to his face in front of everyone. Flames of jealousy burned in his heart, and he wanted nothing more than to cut Yi Qinfeng into pieces. Damn, wait until I kill Feng Chun, then I'll deal with you. I won't let you have a good ending, Li Tianyi swore in his heart. Qi Chantian didn't show any surprise at Shui Hanyan's arrival. It was as if he had already accepted the relationship between Shui Hanyan and Yi Qinfeng. Since the Wind Saint Master, young Master Li, is here, let the battle begin. Imperial Preceptor Sakya stood up from his throne and announced loudly, Go over there and wait for me. Yi Qinfeng patted Shui Hanyan's hand that was holding onto his arm and said, I'll let him know the consequences of a toad lusting after a swan. You. The woman that was supposed to be his was whispering sweet nothings with someone else right in front of him. This had already made Li Tianyi mad. Now that he was being ridiculed by Yi Chen-feng, it made Li Qianni even more furious. He had the urge to immediately attack. What? You want to kill me? Yi Chen-feng was not afraid at all when he felt the murderous aura from Qi Qingtian. Li Qianni frowned and was momentarily at a loss for words. He didn't dare to speak the truth in front of so many people. Sigh, you're really a despicable person. Yi Chen-feng shook his head and mocked, but I'll give you a chance to kill me. Do you dare to fight to the death with me until one of us dies? Tianni, you can't agree. Li Fengxing didn't expect Yi Chen-feng to tempt Li Qianni into a life and death battle. Oh right, and you, when are you going to give me the 37 mid-grade sky crystals that you owe me? Don't tell me you don't want to pay up. Yi Chen-feng coldly glanced at Li Fengxing and said rudely, Don't worry, I won't give you a single mid-grade sky crystal less. Li Fengxing gritted his teeth and said angrily, Pauper. Li Tianni, if you're a man, just give me a straightforward answer. Don't be so coy like a woman. Yi Chen-feng mocked Li Qianni, whose face was cloudy and uncertain. Fine, I promise you. We'll fight to the death. Even though Li Qianni smelled danger, he couldn't back down in front of so many people. Moreover, he still had his own trump card, so he agreed without hesitation. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you'll see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1393. Did you really decide to fight to the death? Sakya asked in a low voice. He frowned and looked at the two people who were staring at each other. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement test. Yes, since we've agreed, we won't change it. As he spoke, streaks of sword light appeared under Yi Chen-feng's feet. His entire body flew towards the square, 1-mile-wide battle arena. Holding the dragon's pine saint sword in his hand, he pointed at the gloomy Li Qianni and said with high battle intent, Li Qianni, what are you waiting for? Come and die. Fengshun, I will kill you today. Li Qianni no longer concealed the killing intent in his heart. He roared and appeared on the arena with a pseudo-saint artifact black coiled dragon spear in his hand, facing off against Yi Chen-feng. God Emperor, please save Tianni's life at the crucial moment on account of my thousand tribulations sect's loyalty to the Octahead Divine Nation. Although Li Qianni had the Thousand Calamity Order's signature treasure, the Thousand Calamity flag, Li Fengxing felt uneasy when he saw how calm Yi Chen-feng was. He had no choice but to ask for help from the indifferent Qi Qingtian. Li Fengxing, if your Thousand Tribulations Order is truly loyal to the Octave Divine Kingdom, then I'll save his life. However, if your Thousand Tribulations Order has ulterior motives, then don't blame me for being merciless. Qi Qingtian took a sip of the spirit tea that had traces of spirit energy floating around it. Thump! Beads of sweat appeared on Li Fengxing's forehead when he heard Qi Qingtian's words. He knew that Qi Qingtian must have found out about his secret collaboration with the Qilin Divine Nation. Your Majesty, it turns out that it's all my fault. I promise to be loyal to the Octahead Kingdom in the future. Several thoughts flashed through Li Fengxing's mind. He had no choice but to make a choice. Li Fengxing, you're a smart man. I hope you won't make the same mistake again. Qi Qingtian said with a smile full of intrigue. Yes, Li Fengxing understands. Li Fengxing stood up and personally filled Qi Qingtian's cup with spirit tea. He bowed and promised. All right, let's watch the match. No matter the result, I promise Li Qianni won't die. Qi Qingtian was satisfied with Li Fengxing's attitude. Shui Hanyin, who was sitting on the side, saw what happened. She was surprised by Qi Qingtian's attitude. From her point of view, Yi Chen-feng's status as the youngest sage master in the Central World and his extraordinary talents made him a talent worth recruiting. Judging from Qi Qingtian's attitude, she had a feeling that Qi Qingtian cared more about the Thousand Calamity sect. If Qi Qingtian stepped in to stop Yi Chen-feng from killing Li Qianni at the critical moment, it was very likely that it would trigger Yi Chen-feng's hostility towards the Octahead Divine Nation. It was Qi Qingtian to offend the youngest sacred master in the Central World for a two-faced faction. Unless Qi Qingtian did it on purpose, He did not think Yi Qinfeng's victory. While Shui Hanyan's thoughts were running wild, Yi Qinfeng and Li Qianni's life and death battle had begun. Feng Chun, I'll take your life. Li Qianni roared. The Tao diagram of death and the Tao diagram of darkness appeared on his body. He stabbed out with his spear. The two Tao diagrams transformed into hundreds of Tao runes that merged into the black dragon spear. It was like a black dragon had appeared and stabbed toward Yi Qinfeng's chest. Li Qianni was indeed a rare genius of Thousand Tribulations sect. His strength was not to be underestimated. The power of this spear had probably reached the limit of nirvana. Yes, this Li Qianni was one realm higher than Feng Chun. How would Feng Chun face him? Seeing the power of Li Qianni's spear, the princes and princesses who came to watch the match whispered, waiting for Yi Qinfeng to make a move. Li Qianni, is this your true strength? You're too weak. Yi Qinfeng sneered. He ignited his dragon blood, and the soul power in his body increased by 9 times. A layer of blood-red scales covered his fist. Boom! Muffled thunder sounded under his feet. His body exploded with hundreds of millions of kilograms of strength. He waved his bloody fist, which was comparable to Gu Dao treasure, to meet the attack. What? Using a fist of flesh to fight a quasi-sage treasure? Was Feng Chun crazy? The princes and princesses widened their eyes and opened their mouths. They all cried out in shock at Yi Qinfeng's crazy actions. Courting death? Li Qianni did not expect Yi Qinfeng to be so arrogant and forcefully increase the power of his spear. He was determined to pierce through Yi Qinfeng's arm, injure his body, and weaken his battle prowess. However, when Li Qianni's black dragon spear stabbed into Yi Qinfeng's fist, it felt like it was stabbing into a towering mountain. Not only was it unable to pierce through, but a powerful force was produced at the tip of the spear. How could this be? Just as Li Qianni's expression changed, Yi Qinfeng ignited his blood of the god and devil, instantly increasing his strength by 3 times. Over 300 million gene of strength burst out, forcefully bending the black, coiling dragon spear. Waves of terrifying power passed through the black, coiling dragon spear and into his arm, causing his arm to go numb and his blood to boil. Extreme life and death Daowen, Li Qianni wanted to pull back his spear. The life and death Tao diagram appeared on his body and turned into a life and death Tao disc that could control life and death. It interweaved with extreme Tao power and bombarded Li Qianni. At this critical moment, Li Qianni's chest flashed with yellow light. A Gu Dao treasure-grade shield appeared in front of him and blocked the attack of the extreme life and death Tao. Gotcha! After colliding head-on with the attacks of life and death, cracks immediately appeared on the ancient Taoist treasure-level shield. Without waiting for Li Qianni to withdraw his shield to dodge, the dragon spine's sacred sword, which had fused with the bronze sword soul, fell from the sky above Yi Qinfeng's head. It pierced through the shield like a hot knife through butter and stabbed toward his chest. At this critical moment, Li Qianni gave up the black dragon spear and dodged to the side. But the moment he dodged, a deep sword mark appeared on his chest from the dragon's spine, sacred sword. A large amount of blood spurted out uncontrollably. Li Qianni was injured. No wonder he dared to gamble with his life and death with Li Qianni. The difference in strength between the two of them was too great. In just a few rounds, Li Qianni had lost his weapon and was injured by Yi Qinfeng. This showed everyone how terrifying Yi Qinfeng's strength was. I'll take your life. Clutching his bleeding chest, Li Qianni quickly ignited his powerful bloodline power. The Tao diagram of death and the Tao diagram of darkness were rapidly deduced. 3 black doomsdays appeared on his body and dyed the entire space black. Doomsday, I know this move too. Yi Qinfeng looked at the 3 black doomsday floating on Li Qianni's body and sneered. He deduced the life and death spirit grade Tao diagram to the extreme and fused with the power of the death spirit bead. A terrifying power of death spread out and condensed into 3 purer and more powerful black doomsday. Rumble, as the entire space trembled, the 6 black doomsday that evolved the great Tao collided with each other. Boundless wind and waves were set off in the void, swallowing all the light in the arena. At this time, the arena seemed to be swallowed by a black hole. Other than the violently tumbling black doomsday, nothing else could be seen. As the terrifying doomsday power became more and more intense, a bloody figure flew out of the black storm and slammed into the violently trembling restriction light wall and fell out of the arena. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1394. Li Tianyi, your strength is too disappointing. With your little ability, you dare to challenge me? A sharp sword light tore through the black waves of wind, and Yi Feng, whose body flowed with a powerful light of Tao intent, slowly walked out. He looked at Li Tianyi, who was covered in blood and had fallen out of the arena, and mocked. Fengchun, I swear I will kill you. Li Tianyi stared with his blood-red eyes like an enraged beast and roared angrily. Why are you still dreaming? Yi Feng mocked coldly. The sky-burning sacred flame appeared in his palm. Under the control of his mind, it turned into a lifelike firebird. It flapped its flaming wings and burned towards Yi Feng. 10,000 calamity flag at the critical moment. Li Tianyi summoned his greatest reliance, the mid-grade saint treasure, the 10,000 calamity flag. He shook the flag violently, messing up the space and directly repelling the incoming sky-burning sacred fire. Middle-grade saint treasure, so you have such a treasure. I was wondering how you dared to agree to my life and death bet. Seeing the power of the 10,000 calamity flag, Yi Feng was not shocked but happy. I just happen to lack a mid-grade saint treasure, so I will accept this treasure. 10,000 calamity flag. 10,000 calamity. Destroy heaven and earth. The ferocious Li Tianyi quickly swallowed a black pill and stimulated his potential. He shook the powerful 10,000 calamity flag violently, shaking out a black calamity wind that swept towards Yi Feng, wanting to tear him apart. Let's see how long you can control the mid-grade saint treasure to attack. Yi Feng was not afraid of the black tribulation wind at all. The 5 elements spirit grade Tao diagrams, the life and death spirit grade Tao diagrams, and the heaven and earth spirit grade Tao diagrams fused together, forming an ocean of Tao intent. In this sea of Tao intent, 4 quasi-holy treasures appeared, suppressing heaven and earth and neutralizing the power of the black calamity wind. Yi Feng was multitasking. Although the power of the 4 quasi-holy treasures attacks was great, the power of the 10,000 calamity flag in Li Tianyi's hand was even greater. Under the attack of the black calamity wind, the attacks of the 4 quasi-holy treasures were constantly shattered, and the entire space was riddled with holes. Dragon subduing stake seeing the black wind of tribulation engulf Yi Feng. Yi Feng continued to deduce his Tao. He condensed 9 dragons subduing pillars with coiling dragons. They descended from the sky and suppressed the world, weakening the power of the black wind of tribulation. 10,000 calamity flag, break it. The black wind was dissolved by Yi Feng. Li Tianyi spat out mouthfuls of blood into the 10,000 calamity flag at all costs. He activated the flag's power to the greatest extent and pressured Yi Feng. Heaven and earth sword formation, sword cutting the sky the moment the black tribulation wind engulfed Yi Feng. 108 Xinquan swords flew out of his body, condensing into an extremely powerful sword diagram above his head. With a terrifying power, it tore through the black tribulation wind and slashed towards Li Tianyi, whose expression changed slightly. Boom, 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 a series of deafening explosions rang out. Li Tianyi, who was waving the 10,000 calamity flag, was continuously pushed back by the attacks of the 108 heaven and earth swords. He crashed into the restriction wall behind him. Heaven and earth strike, wrath of divine punishment. Taking advantage of Li Tianyi's inability to retreat, Yi Feng combined the 108 heaven and earth swords with his mind. They turned into a huge sword that was dozens of feet long and surrounded by powerful Tao intent. It slashed towards Li Qianni fiercely. The moment the heaven and earth sword slashed down, the sky burning sacred fire, purple beginnings holy thunder, and dual extreme ancient divine water surged out of his body, turning into a terrifying wrath of divine punishment. Boom, boom. Thunderous booms rang out from the edge of the arena. The terrifying sound caused people's hearts to tremble and their legs to tremble. Many of the weaker maids were so frightened that they fell on their buttocks. Li Qianni, who was unable to dodge the double attack of the heaven and earth strike and wrath of divine punishment, was heavily injured again. If it were not for the 10,000 calamity flag helping him dissolve most of the attacks, this attack would have been enough to kill him. Your Majesty, Tianni has no chance of turning the tables. Please save him, Your Majesty. Li Fengxing did not expect Yi Chunfeng's power to be so terrifying. Even with the 10,000 calamity flag, Li Qianni had no chance of turning the tide. He had no choice but to ask Qi Qingtian for help. Wait a little longer. Now is not the time. Qi Qingtian's eyes were sharp. He could tell at a glance that among the 108 heaven and earth swords that Yi Chanfeng summoned, 10 of them were low-grade sacred swords. In addition to the Dragon's Pine sacred sword in Yi Chunfeng's hand and the 2 low-grade sacred weapons used to propose marriage, Qi Qingtian suspected that Yi Chanfeng had more than 15 sacred weapons on him. It seemed that this person had a close relationship with Goddess Luo. Otherwise, with his age and power, there was no way he could have so many sacred weapons. Qi Qingtian mistakenly thought that Yi Chunfeng's sacred weapons were given to him by Goddess Luo. His face darkened, and he instinctively became hostile toward him. Weapon spirit, ignite. Li Qianni was heavily injured. He knew that if he did not fight with all his might, he would not have a chance. He spat out a large amount of blood and merged it with the 10,000 calamity flag. While activating the flag's power, he forcefully ignited the weapon spirit, increasing the flag's power to the limit. 10,000 calamity flag, crush him. Li Qianni ignored his injuries and attacked Yi Chunfeng with the 10,000 calamity flag. A black curtain of light flew out of the 10,000 calamity flag like a black river. It blew away the 4 quasi-sacred treasures and the spinning Qianquan sword diagram. It charged toward Yi Chunfeng. 9 dragon diagram facing the strongest attack of a mid-grade sacred weapon, the 10,000 calamity flag. Yi Chunfeng did not dare to be careless. He summoned the mid-grade sacred weapon, the 9 dragon diagram, to defend with all his might. Hum! Hum! 9 deafening dragon roars rang out. The 9 dragon spirits that had fused with the 3 spiritual Tao diagrams broke through the illusory 9 dragon diagram. They crashed into the black curtain of light created by the 10,000 calamity flag, fiercely attacking each other in the battle arena. This was the 9 dragon diagram, the Zhou family's 9 dragon diagram. Seeing the 9 dragon diagram hovering above Yi Chunfeng's head, Qi Qingtian immediately recognized its origin. His face immediately darkened. The Zhou family had been the protectors of the human race's inheritance. They had clashed with the 8 divine kingdom many times. 2 of the 8 divine kingdom's grand elders had died at the hands of the Zhou family's ancestor. It had greatly affected the overall strength of the 8 divine kingdom. If this Feng Chun is the successor of the Luotian god and is related to the destroyed Zhou family, then what is his true purpose in coming to the 8 divine kingdom? Qi Qingtian kept guessing about Yi Chunfeng's intentions. Boom! 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 The attack of the 2 mid-grade sacred treasures was too terrifying. It directly destroyed the battle arena made of special materials of the 8 divine kingdom. Even the layers of defense seals kept shattering under the powerful impact. Enduring the destructive power that could topple mountains and overturn seas, Li Qianni's injuries were severe. He desperately shook the 10,000 calamity flag, revealing white bones in his right arm. On the other hand, Yi Chanfeng, who was wearing 2 low-grade sacred items, endured the baptism of the destructive storm. With a thought, he controlled the bronze sword spirit to attack Li Qianni. Whoosh! A bronze light appeared in front of Li Qianni's eyes. The sword cut off his right arm that was holding the 10,000 calamity flag tightly. Blood flowed out, revealing white bones of his right arm. Die. After controlling the bronze sword spirit to cut off Li Qianni's right arm, Yi Chenfeng immediately used the one-line sword slash and stabbed towards Li Qianni's head. He wanted to pierce through his head and end his life. At this critical moment, the space in front of Yi Chenfeng suddenly started to distort, continuously neutralizing his sword attack. In the next moment, a huge hand appeared and pierced through the space filled with cracks. It grabbed at Li Qianni, who had lost his right arm and was howling in pain. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1395. Law of Space. Looking at the folded space in front of him and the hand that grabbed Li Qianni, Yi Chenfeng frowned slightly. From the corner of his eye, he realized that the hand was formed by Qi Changtian out of thin air. Why did Qi Changtian save Li Qianni at such a critical moment? Yi Chenfeng had many complicated thoughts in his mind, and he felt uneasy for some reason. Heaven-suppressing orb, Saint Blood orb, Dead Spirit orb, fusion. Although Yi Chenfeng couldn't guess Qi Changtian's intentions, he was determined to kill Li Qianni. He instantly fused the heaven-suppressing orb and Saint Blood orb, increasing his level to the limit of nirvana. He shattered the folded space that was blocking him and intertwined with boundless will of Tao as he slashed out. The slash was merciless and deadly. The slash was extremely powerful, and the folded space was pierced through. The unstoppable sword light pierced toward Qi Changtian's head in the blink of an eye. He smelled a strong scent of death, and all the hairs on his body stood on end. Seeing that the sword had pierced through Qi Changtian's head, the hand suddenly extended a finger and accurately tapped on the incoming sword light. Energy ripples surged in the air, blocking Yi Chenfeng's attack. In the next moment, the hand grabbed Li Qianni, who was screaming in fear, and lifted him into the air, leaving the collapsed and ruined battle arena. Li Qianni was saved by Qi Changtian, but the 1,000 Calamity Order's treasure, the 1,000 Calamity flag, was suppressed by Yi Chenfeng's 9-serpent dragon carving and stored in the universe mirror. Fengchun, hand over the 1,000 Calamity flag. Li Fengxing saw Yi Chenfeng take away the 1,000 Calamity flag in front of everyone and was instantly enraged. He stood up from his seat and ordered furiously, "The 1,000 Calamity flag is my spoil of war. Why should I return it to you?" Yi Chenfeng sneered and retorted, "You." Li Fengxing's lungs were about to explode. The 1,000 Calamity flag was the treasure of the 1,000 Calamity Order, and it couldn't be lost. If Yi Chenfeng took it away, it would affect the overall strength of the 1,000 Calamity Order. "Your Majesty, I have a life and death bet with Li Qianni. I don't know why you saved him." Yi Chenfeng no longer paid attention to Li Fengxing, whose eyes were spewing fire. He shifted his gaze to Qi Changtian, whose expression was calm and whose thoughts could not be read. "Li Qianni is a young talent that I have my eyes on. He can't lose his life," Qi Changtian said emotionlessly. "Your Majesty, you are wrong. Since this is a life and death bet, life and death should be put aside." His Majesty intervened for no reason. It is inevitable that he would be unjust, Yi Chenfeng said as he analyzed Qi Changtian's thoughts. "In my 8 divergent divine kingdom, who dares to speak ill of me?" Qi Changtian said, "All right, I've made up my mind. You don't have to say anymore." "Your Majesty, when can I marry Han Yin?" Yi Chenfeng sensed something unusual from Qi Changtian's attitude. He wanted to marry Shui Han Yin as soon as possible and take her away. "Fengchun, Yin'er, is my favorite daughter. She also has a rare Xian body. Once her Xian body is activated, dual cultivation with her will bring unimaginable benefits. Therefore, the betrothal gifts you offered are not enough to marry her." Qi Changtian looked at Yi Chenfeng calmly and revealed the secret of Shui Hanyin's Xian body. "Xian body." Yi Chenfeng frowned slightly. He did not expect Shui Hanyin to have a special Xian body. He also understood why Li Tianyi pursued Shui Hanyan. Yi Qinfeng frowned and asked in a low voice, "What other betrothal gifts do you want, Your Majesty?" He did not expect Qi Chantian to go back on his words. Now that he had given Qi Chantian the map of the outer region of the realm beyond Avalon, he had lost his greatest reliance. "I don't want much. Just 10 low-grade sacred weapons, 1 mid-grade sacred treasure, and 3 low-grade sacred pills," Qi Qingtian said in a deep voice. "Are you joking, Your Majesty?" Yi Chunfeng asked angrily when he heard Qi Chengtian's exorbitant demand. "What? Do you think my daughter's happiness is not comparable to some worldly possessions?" Qi Qingtian asked in a neutral tone, seeing that Qi Changtian was deliberately making things difficult for Yi Qinfeng. Shui Hanyan wanted to stand up. However, at that moment, a powerful spatial energy suppressed the space around Shui Hanyan. She could not move, and even her voice was blocked. "I do not have 3 low-grade sacred pills, so I cannot fulfill Your Majesty's request." Although Yi Chanfeng sensed danger from Qi Changtian's attitude, there was not a single trace of anger or panic on his handsome face as he spoke calmly. "It's fine. I can provide you with a recipe and herbs for you to refine," Qi Changtian said to Yi Chanfeng with a deep gaze. "Then I will not agree." Yi Qinfeng had a feeling that even if he gave Qi Changtian the betrothal gift, Qi Changtian would still make things difficult for him. "Fengshen, don't think that you can marry an heir just because you won 3 rounds. If you can't give me the betrothal gift, I can only betroth her to Li Tianyi." Qi Chengtian acted as if he had Yi Chanfeng under his control and forced him to agree. "If Li Tianyi dares to marry Han Yan, I will cut off his head within a month and destroy the Wanji order." Yi Qinfeng stood proudly and replied domineeringly. Li Fengxing and Li Tianyi were so angry that their hair stood on end. "Arrogant brat. Do you really think the Wanji order is a pushover that you can kill?" Li Fengxing roared with fire in his eyes. "Humph. Do you think I'm trying to scare you?" Yi Chunfeng snorted and said, "As the youngest sacred master in the Central World, do you think the Zhouqian Kingdom or the Kirin Kingdom will help me destroy the Wanjia order?" "You." After hearing Yi Qinfeng's words, the furious Li Fengxing finally remembered his identity. The sacred master held a high position in the Central World and had terrifying influence and influence. If Qi Chengtian went all out against Li Fengxing, the Zhouqian Kingdom or the Kirin Kingdom might help him destroy the Wanji order. "Fengshen, the Wanji order is a vassal force of the Octahead Kingdom. Attacking them is the same as attacking me. Do you want to make an enemy out of the Octahead Kingdom?" Qi Qingtian's voice turned cold, causing the expressions of the monstrous king and the others to change. "Your Majesty, I must marry Han Yan. How about this? I will give you something else as a betrothal gift." Yi Qinfeng kept thinking about the chances of him taking Shui Hanyan away if they were to shed all pretenses. However, he could feel that the space around Shui Hanyan was isolated and she could not be transported into the universe realm. He did not dare to act rashly and could only think of other ways. "What betrothal gift?" Qi Qingtian asked coldly. "A pill recipe that could allow His Majesty to break through the limits of the Central World and reach the level of a 4-star divine saint." Yi Qinfeng said shockingly. Qi Qingtian's pupils shrunk and his eyes shone brightly. Sakya, Monstrous King, and the others were also shocked. They had never heard of such a pill recipe. If it really existed, its value would be immeasurable. For a moment, everyone's eyes were focused on Yi Qinfeng. The noisy environment suddenly became silent. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1396. Do you really have such a pill formula? Qi Qingtian stared at Yi Qinfeng and asked doubtfully. Yes. Yi Qinfeng took out the pill formula he obtained from the Xingluo Imperial Mausoleum. However, this pill formula lacked 3 main ingredients. Even if Qi Changtian gathered all the ingredients, he would not be able to create the heavenly saint-breaking pill. What did you get this pill formula from? How can you prove that this pill formula can help me break through to the 4-star Tao Saint realm? Qi Changtian questioned. I obtained this pill formula in the outer region of sky beyond sky. Based on this pill formula, I created a heavenly saint breaking pill that helped a senior break through to the 4-star Tao Saint realm. Yi Chenfeng looked into Qi Chengtian's deep eyes and said calmly. After he finished speaking, he teleported Song Kunwu, who had basically stabilized his 4-star Tao Saint realm, out of the universe mirror. This aura was that of a 4-star Tao Saint. Feeling the boundless and heavy aura from Song Kunwu, Qi Chengtian's cold and arrogant expression changed slightly. Li Fengxing was even more shocked. He did not expect Yi Chenfeng to have a spatial treasure. He also did not expect that he would have the support of a 4-star Tao Saint. Although Li Fengxing did not know how terrifying a 4-star Tao Saint was, he believed that if a 4-star Tao Saint wanted to destroy his 1,000 Calamity sect, they would not be able to stop him. Feng Chun, I underestimated you. Qi Qingtian frowned slightly and stared at Song Kunwu. After thinking for a while, he said, Give me this pill formula, and I promise to marry Yin heir to you. I don't trust you anymore. Let Han Yin come over first, Yi Chenfeng said coldly. Sure. Qi Qingtian answered without hesitation. He dispelled the space restriction and freed Shui Han Yin. She ran to Yi Chenfeng's side. Qi Qingtian, a heartless person like you who goes back on your words isn't fit to be my father. Shui Han Yin yelled at the shrewd and cold-hearted Qi Chengtian with hatred. Yinner, is this something a daughter should say to her father? If you continue to spout nonsense, don't blame me for being impolite to you. Qi Qingtian looked at Shui Han Yin, who was criticizing him in front of everyone. His expression darkened, and a powerful aura emanated from his body. It was like a towering mountain pressing down on Shui Han Yin. Qi Qingtian unleashed a terrifying aura. Song Kunwu, who was standing proudly, snorted coldly and broke through the oppressive aura. His powerful strength was on full display. Feng Chun, you can give me the recipe now, right? Qi Changtian said in a low voice, suppressing the anger in his heart with a hint of fear in his eyes. I can give you the recipe, but you must swear on the heavens that you will let us go after you get the recipe, Yi Chenfeng said coldly. He did not immediately give the recipe to Qi Qingtian. No, you can't leave the Orochi Imperial Palace unless you verify that this pill formula is real, Qi Qingtian replied in a domineering manner. What? You want to put us under house arrest? Song Kunwa's expression darkened. Rays of light shot out from his cloudy eyes as he said coldly, If you leave and I find out that this pill formula is fake, I will be at a disadvantage. Qi Qingtian looked at the sharp light in Song Kunwa's eyes and said indifferently, Also, I advise you not to leave by force. If you do, I guarantee that you will regret it. Fine, we can stay, but I can only wait for you for 3 months. Regardless of whether you can concoct the heavenly saint breaking pellet or not, we will have to leave. Yi Chenfeng took a deep breath and changed his mind. Fine, I promise you. Qi Changtian nodded and agreed. Here is the recipe. Yi Chenfeng moved his finger slightly and threw the incomplete heavenly saint flail pill recipe at Qi Qingtian. Let's go, Han Yin. Go back to your place. After throwing the recipe, Yi Chenfeng did not stay any longer. He hugged the furious Shui Han Yin and left the arena with Song Kunwu. They returned to the waterside pavilion where Shui Han Yin stayed. Qingfeng, why did you stay? I can guarantee that no matter whether the recipe you gave him is real or not, that shameless hypocrite will not let us go. After returning to the waterside pavilion, Shui Han Yin grabbed onto Yi Chenfeng's arm tightly and asked in confusion, Because I suspect that Qi Qingtian left a secret mark on you. If we escape, you will most likely lose your life. Yi Chenfeng voiced the concerns in his heart. A secret mark. Shui Han Yin's charming face turned pale. After Yi Chenfeng's reminder, Shui Han Yin suddenly remembered that Qi Qingtian looked for her last night. However, she could not remember what they talked about. Now that she thought about it, Qi Qingtian must have left a secret mark on her. He allowed her to watch the battle on purpose. Don't be afraid. No matter what he left on you, I have a way to break it, Seeing Shui Hanyan's panicked expression, Yi Chenfeng gently hugged her and promised, "Let's go. We will go back to the room." As he spoke, Yi Chenfeng transported Song Kunwu into the Qinquan realm. He hugged Shui Hanyan's soft body and brought her to her room. "Hanyan, don't think about anything. Just lie on the bed and close your eyes. I will examine your body and soul." Yi Chenfeng hugged Shui Hanyan to the bedside. He looked at her pale face and trembling eyelashes and said softly, Shui Hanyan nodded. She took off her shoes and laid on the soft bed with her bare feet. She looked at Yi Chenfeng deeply, as if she wanted to imprint his appearance in the depths of her soul. Only then did she close her eyes. Whoosh! Yi Chenfeng took a deep breath and said. He gently grabbed Shui Hanyan's wrist and controlled the God-Eater brain to perform calculations at an extremely fast speed. He released pure soul power into Shui Hanyan's body and checked her body bit by bit. As expected, there was a deadly poison in her body. Yi Chenfeng controlled the God-Eater brain and carefully checked Shui Hanyan's body. He noticed a faint, slow-acting poison in her body that was corroding her organs. After checking Shui Hanyan's body, Yi Chenfeng controlled his rapidly deducing soul power and slowly penetrated it into Shui Hanyan's soul. He discovered that there was a powerful soul restriction hidden in her soul sea. Such a ruthless method. Did he really see Hanyan as his daughter? Yi Chenfeng did not expect Qi Chantian to be so ruthless. Not only did he poison Shui Hanyan, but he also placed a soul restriction in her soul. Such a vicious method made Yi Chenfeng very angry. "Chenfeng, can I still be saved?" Shui Hanyan's long eyelashes trembled. She opened her beautiful eyes and saw Yi Chenfeng sitting on the bed with a frown. She guessed the condition of her body, and her face paled even more. "Don't worry, Hanyan. With me here, even the King of Hell will not be able to take your life." Looking at Shui Hanyan's lovely face, Yi Chenfeng squeezed out a smile and promised. "Chenfeng, I believe in you. I believe that you have the ability. But before you break my secret plan, take me first. That way, even if I die, I will have no regrets." Shui Hanyan slowly sat up. Her beautiful eyes revealed a hint of blurriness. She took the initiative to hook her arms around Yi Chenfeng's neck and kissed his lips. Touching the tenderness in Shui Hanyan's eyes, feeling the lust in her body, and the arousal of her burning red lips, Yi Chenfeng's primitive desire was awakened. He no longer suppressed his feelings and summoned 2 of his clones to guard Shui Hanyan's room. He set up a soundproof restriction in the room. He hugged Shui Hanyan's hot and alluring body tightly and laid down on the soft bed. Mobile reading site, book address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1397. Spring was like water, and passion was like a song. Yi Chenfeng and Shui Hanyan were entangled with each other. The sound of collision and the low moans were mixed together, composing a theme song of love. On the big bed, Shui Hanyan was completely conquered by Yi Chenfeng. They were sweating profusely. Shui Hanyan's half-closed eyes revealed an indescribable satisfaction. The layers of blush on her body showed how happy she was at this time. They hugged each other tightly, moving up and down, shouting passionately. In the tired joy, they both fell asleep. In the early morning, the soft sunshine sprinkled in through the window, waking them up. Looking at each other's face, Yi Chenfeng and Shui Hanyan looked at each other and smiled. They couldn't help kissing each other. The charm of last night had not disappeared, and the new passion came again. Shui Hanyan closed her eyes, holding Yi Chenfeng's neck, crazily twisting her slender and soft waist, making intoxicating sounds. Again and again, she cooperated with Yi Chenfeng, expressing her love for Yi Chenfeng in the most passionate way, intoxicated in the sea of joy. After a long time, the passion in their body gradually dissipated. Yi Chenfeng put on his clothes, looked at Shui Hanyan, whose hair was messy and her charming face showed a trace of laziness, but she was very charming. He said softly, "Yenner, the chronic toxin in your body is very special. I'm afraid that ordinary detoxification pills can't cure it. But I have 1,000 poisons grass, which contains deadly toxins. Maybe it can cure the chronic toxin in your body with poison. But the process of curing poison with poison may be very painful. You must endure it, otherwise it will be fatal if it fails. Don't worry, Qingfeng, I can endure it. Don't worry about me." Shui Hanyan showed a charming smile and said resolutely, "And it's not too late. I'll start to detoxify you." As he spoke, Yi Qingfeng took out a pitch-black 1,000 poison grass that contained deadly toxins from his universe mirror. He spat out a mouthful of heaven-burning sacred flame, melting the 1,000 poison grass bit by bit, removing the impurities in the 1,000 poison grass and purifying it into 10 drops of deadly toxins. Yenneir, open her mouth. Don't feel any burden in your heart. Leave everything to me, Yi Qingfeng instructed softly. He controlled a drop of black poison floating in midair and sent it into Shui Hanyan's body. In the next moment, Yi Qingfeng extended a finger and tapped Shui Hanyan's chest. He controlled the bead of life to continuously pour down the power of life into Shui Hanyan's body bit by bit, strengthening her vitality. He did everything he could to weaken the damage of fight poison with poison to her body. The black venom melted in Shui Hanyan's body and immediately released a fatal poison that merged with her body, mixing with the slow-acting poison that was corroding her internal organs. The intense repulsion caused her to feel immense pain. Although Shui Hanyan was mentally prepared, the pain of fight poison with poison was still beyond her imagination. It was so painful that her entire body trembled and she felt like she was going to die. If it were not for the power of life constantly nourishing her body and awakening her hazy consciousness, she would have fainted from the pain already. Shui Hanyan opened her mouth. About an hour later, Yi Qingfeng controlled a second drop of black poison to enter Shui Hanyan's body. He continued to use fight poison with poison to weaken the slow-acting poison in her body. At the same time, he found the two Sage Master of Oroki, Sage Master Pillheart and Sage Master Blood Dragon, to verify the authenticity of the Heavenly Saint Breaking Pill recipe. How is it? Can you verify whether the Heavenly Saint Breaking Pill is real? Qi Qingtian frowned as he watched Saint Pill Master and Saint Pill Master deduce the medicinal properties of the pill. If the Heavenly Sage Shackle Pill was real, then its value would be too great. It would definitely make Orochi the #1 divine nation in the Central World. It might even dominate the entire Dehun continent. Your Majesty, according to the analysis of the two of us, this pill formula is very likely to be real. However, Saint Savra Blood Dragon and I have never seen the main ingredients of this pill formula, so we can't tell whether this pill formula is complete or not. Sage Master Pillheart and Sage Master Blood Dragon communicated telepathically. The pill recipe might be real. This world really did have a pill that could allow Nirvana Realm cultivators to break through their limits. Qi Qingtian revealed a look of excitement. At this moment, his ambition was greatly inflated. Sage Master Pillheart, Sage Master Blood Dragon, do you have any slow-acting poison that can't be detected? Qi Qingtian asked, rolling his eyes slightly. Your Majesty, you want to use poison to control Sage Master Fengchun? Although Yi Qingfeng had broken ties with Orochi, Sage Master Pillheart truly admired Yi Qingfeng's alchemy skills. He did not want to make an enemy out of him. That's right, I'm just as you thought. Even if this pill recipe is real, he won't give us the complete recipe. If we want the real recipe, we must find a way to control him. Qi Qingtian nodded and said, Your Majesty, Sage Master Fengchun's alchemy skills are far superior to mine. It will be difficult to control him with a slow-acting poison. Sage Master Pillheart frowned slightly and shook his head. Your Majesty, I have a colorless and odorless poison that can be mixed into the air. If he breathes it in for a long time, he will be poisoned. However, it's hard to say if it can fool him, Sage Master Blood Dragon said. All right, then let's give it a try. If we can get the complete recipe for the Heavenly Saint Breaking Pill, I will give each of you a Heavenly Saint Breaking Pill. It will allow you to become a 4-star divine saint in your lifetime. Chi Chan Tian revealed a sinister smile and promised in front of everyone. Your Majesty, aren't you afraid that Sage Master Fengshen will discover your intentions and cause an intense conflict? The title of the youngest Sage Master in the Central World is extremely terrifying. Sage Master Pilheart sighed in his heart and tried to persuade Chi Changtan. Even if he finds out, it will be fine. Chi Chantan revealed a sinister smile when he thought of the trap he left on Shui Hanyan. He won't be able to escape my grasp. All right, you two Sage Masters continue to study this pill recipe. I will order people to gather the main ingredients as soon as possible. With that, Chi Tian left with great ambitions. Time passed day by day. While Yi Chenfeng was using poison to neutralize the poison in Shui Hanyan's body, a tall and beautiful woman wearing a white tulle short skirt, revealing a large part of her snow-white skin and sexy collarbone. Her legs were round and slender, and her appearance was somewhat similar to Shui Hanyan's. She carried 2 plates of exquisite desserts to Shui Hanyan's boudoir. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Hanyan's elder sister. I am here to deliver desserts to her and Sir Yi. The woman in the white dress looked at the sword puppet and golden god of war standing guard outside the room and spoke softly. The desserts are outside the room. You may leave. Yi Chenfeng's voice rang out in the room as he spoke coldly. All right. The woman in the white dress did not insist. She placed the desserts on the ground and left. The next day, the woman in the white dress did not appear. Instead, the white-haired Sage Master Pilheart, who wore a white robe, came with 2 pots of fine wine. Yi Chenfeng and Sage Master Pilheart were old acquaintances. Yi Chenfeng could not refuse his arrival. Moreover, Yi Chenfeng wanted to sound out Sage Master Pilheart's intentions. He walked out of Shui Hanyan's room and saw Sage Master Pilheart with a worried expression. Mobile reading site. Book address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You'll be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1398. Saint Master Pilheart. What business do you have with me today? Yi Chenfeng looked at the worried Saint Master Pilheart and asked in a low voice. Saint Master Fengshen, you are a person that I admire very much. I really don't want to see you in Octahead clash. Saint Master Pilheart sighed softly. It's not that I want to fight Octahead. It's that your emperor went back on his words and coveted my treasures. He wants to kill me. Yi Chenfeng glanced at the 2 pots of wine in Saint Master Pilheart's hand and said lightly, Sigh, there are some things that I can't say. If possible, leave Octahead. Every day you stay here is a day of danger. Saint Master Pilheart sighed softly and said, Octahead's foundation is very likely. Even if you have the help of a 4-star Dao Saint, you won't have any advantage. After speaking, Saint Master Pilheart turned and left. He didn't leave the 2 pots of wine behind. Yi Chenfeng looked at Saint Master Pilheart's departing figure and pondered over his words. His brows were tightly knitted together as he pondered. However, Shui Hanyan's fate was in Qi Qingtian's hands. He only dared to break out of here after eliminating all dangers on her. Right after Saint Master Pilheart left, the woman in the white dress who appeared yesterday carried 2 plates of exquisite desserts. Her sexy waist swayed as she walked over, bringing with her a mesmerizing fragrance. Saint Master Feng, I finally meet you. The woman in the white dress smiled charmingly and said, I'm Hanyan's sister. We're family. Family? Yi Chenfeng smiled coldly and said, I'm not worthy of that. Saint Master Feng's angry words touched Yi Chenfeng's hostile gaze. The woman in the white dress didn't care and said slowly, Saint Master Feng, these are desserts that I personally made. Are you interested in tasting them? I'm afraid they're poisonous. I'm not interested. Yi Chenfeng said coldly, Okay, you can leave. Also, you're not welcome here. Please don't come back. After speaking, Yi Chenfeng turned and left. He returned to Shui Hanyan's room. Well, how could that be? After returning to his room, Yi Chenfeng controlled the God-Eater brain to sense his body. In the end, he unexpectedly discovered that a poison that was difficult to detect had appeared in his body. If his soul had not reached the level of a 4-star Tao saint and his God-eater brain was not heaven-defying enough, he would not have been able to detect it at all. Although he did not know when he had been poisoned, he knew that his poisoning was either related to Saint Master Pillheart or the white-dressed woman. A trace of anger appeared on his face. In a flash, he arrived in the courtyard and appeared in front of the white-dressed woman who was still standing in her original spot. "You really have guts to poison me. Do you really think I won't kill you?" Yi Chen-feng stared coldly at the charming face of the woman in the white dress and said furiously, "When Saint Master, I like you, take me." Looking at Yi Chen-feng's angry eyes, the white-dressed woman seemed to have been possessed. Her clothes suddenly burst open, revealing her alluring naked body. She pounced on Yi Chen-feng. However, Yi Chen-feng reacted faster. He grabbed her neck and lifted her into the air. He was about to use the God-eater brain to search her soul. Suddenly, a stream of blood flowed from the corner of the white-dressed woman's mouth. Her pupils dilated and the light in her eyes dimmed. She died on the spot. "Feng Chun, my daughter did not obey you. Why did you kill her?" Seeing the sudden death of the white-dressed woman, Yi Chen-feng's brows were tightly knitted together. At that moment, an angry roar was heard. Qi Qingtian appeared with a few Nirvana realm cultivators. In the next moment, a dessert that had fallen to the ground flew into Qi Qingtian's hand. This dessert was a memory stone. "I have truly experienced your methods. In order to find an excuse to deal with me and shut the mouths of the world, you actually sacrificed your own daughter's life. Yin Er was right when she scolded you that day. You are indeed a despicable hypocrite." Looking at the memory stone in Qi Qingtian's hand, Yi Chen-feng immediately figured out the whole sequence of events. Qi Qingtian had already predicted that he would be able to detect the poisoning and that he would take revenge on the white-dressed woman. Now that he had used the memory stone to record the scene of the white-dressed woman dying in his hands, he had the upper hand. Even if he killed him, he could still shut the mouths of the world and prevent the power behind him from doing anything. "Feng Chun, I will now give you a choice. Give me the complete recipe for the Heavenly Saint breaking pellet, and I will let you and Yin Er leave. As long as you do not make an enemy of the Octave Divine Nation, I promise that I will not cause you any trouble." Qi Qingtian put away the memory stone and smirked, as if his plan had worked. "What if I don't agree?" Yi Chen-feng said coldly as he threw the white-dressed woman's corpse on the ground. He tried his best to calm himself down. "If you don't agree, you and Yin Er will both die," Qi Qingtian said coldly, not caring about Shui Hanyan's life. "Qi Qingtian, you win. Give me 1 day, and I will give you an answer in 1 day," Yi Chen-feng said after taking a deep breath. "I don't have that much patience," Qi Qingtian rejected coldly. "That's your business," Yi Chen-feng replied. "If you want to do it now, I will accompany you. But you will never get the complete recipe for the Heavenly Saint breaking pellet." "All right, I forgot to remind you that the recipe I gave you is incomplete. Even if you gather all the main ingredients, you will not be able to make the Heavenly Saint breaking pellet." After that, Yi Chen-feng did not give Qi Qingtian a chance to speak. He quickly returned to Shui Hanyan's room and set up a soundproof restriction. "Fine, I will give you 1 day. When the time comes, you will not be able to escape." After confirming that Yi Chen-feng had the complete recipe for the Heavenly Saint breaking pellet, Qi Qingtian did not act rashly. He planned to use this 1 day to set up a trap and capture Yi Chen-feng alive. He believed that Yi Chen-feng would not be able to do anything in this 1 day. "Chen-feng, don't worry about me. Let's go. If we don't leave now, both of us will die here." The pale and weak Shui Hanyan knew what was going on outside. She bit her lips and urged Qi Qingtian. "Don't worry, Hanyan. A mere Orochi palace will not be able to trap me. Don't think about anything now. I will use this 1 day to break the mark in your soul. When the time comes, I will take you away." Although the poison in Shui Hanyan's body was not completely removed, the most fatal part was the mark in her soul. As long as the mark was not removed, Qi Qingtian could take Shui Hanyan's life at any time. But there are no buts. "What you need to do now is to be obedient and leave the rest to me," Yi Chen-feng said firmly as he shook his head. Looking into Yi Chunfeng's determined eyes, Shui Hanyan's heart was filled with happiness and gratitude. She bit her lips and nodded obediently before closing her eyes. God-eater brain, everything depends on you. Taking a deep breath, Yi Chunfeng controlled the God-eater brain to deduce quickly. It released a powerful soul energy into Shui Hanyan's soul and touched the mark in her soul. However, to avoid alerting the enemy, Yi Chunfeng did not blindly control the God-eater brain to devour the mark. Instead, he slowly explored and found a way to break it. As long as he could break the mark in an instant, he would be able to get rid of Shui Hanyan's greatest danger before Qi Qingtian could react. However, one day was too short. Yi Chunfeng was racing against time, racing against the Grim Reaper. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1399. Qi Qingtian's methods were indeed extraordinary. The structure of the soul imprint in Yan Er's soul was too complicated. Yi Chunfeng controlled the God-eater brain to deduce the structure of the soul imprint in Shui Hanyan's soul for half a day. He could not find a way to crack it. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test gradually. Beads of sweat appeared on Yi Chunfeng's forehead. He started to feel anxious. If he could not crack the soul imprint in Shui Hanyan's soul within a day, he would lose the initiative and be led by the nose by Qi Qingtian. No, there was not enough time. He could not continue researching like this. He had to take a risk. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath. He decided to control the God-eater brain to take the risk and devour the soul imprint in Shui Hanyan's soul. However, before he took the risk, he decided to confuse Qi Qingtian and buy some time. Superpower mirror image with a thought. Yi Chunfeng used the mirror image divine ability and created a mirror image of himself. He walked out of Shui Hanyan's boudoir and brought his two clones to the entrance of the waterside pavilion, which was shrouded in a terrifying restriction and filled with the experts of the Octave Divine Nation. Tell Qi Qingtian to come out. I will give him the complete recipe for the heavenly saint-breaking pellet. Yi Chunfeng's mirror image appeared in front of a Nirvana old man in a white martial arts suit. He had a long beard and was emitting a faint demonic aura. All right, I will inform His Majesty. The white-robed old man's eyebrows twitched. He took out his communication bead and sent a message to Qi Qingtian. Qi Qingtian was surprised when he heard the news. He quickly came to the waterside pavilion and saw Yi Chunfeng's mirror image. The moment he saw Yi Chunfeng's mirror image, Qi Qingtian's deep eyes revealed a trace of abnormality. He realized that the aura emitted by Yi Chunfeng's mirror image was a bit weak. However, the mirror image was very powerful, so he did not think too much about it. Qi Qingtian, if I give you the complete recipe for the heavenly saint-breaking pellet, will you let me and Han Yin go? Yi Chunfeng's mirror image looked at Qi Qingtian, whose eyes were shining. Sure, as long as you give me the complete recipe for the heavenly saint-breaking pellet, I promise to let you go. Qi Qingtian nodded and agreed without hesitation. Qi Qingtian, you won't go back on your words and lie to me again, right? Yi Chunfeng's mirror image said on purpose, stalling for time. I should be the one wondering if you're going to use an incomplete pill formula to fool me, Qi Qingtian said with a gloomy expression. As he spoke, he sensed that Shui Hanyan's soul imprint was being eroded by a mysterious force, weakening it. But at this moment, all of his attention was on the yellow parchment scroll in the hands of Yi Chunfeng's mirror image. He did not pay too much attention to the changes in Shui Hanyan's soul imprint. Then what do you want? Yi Chunfeng's mirror image asked calmly. First, swear to the heavenly Tao that the pill formula in your hand is complete. Next, give me the pill formula. I'll let Saint Master Pill Heart and Saint Master Blood Dragon verify it. If there are no problems, I'll let you go. Qi Qingtian said coldly. Qi Qingtian, do you really think I'm an idiot? Yi Chunfeng's mirror image sneered and said, I'm sure that no matter what the results are, you'll still insist that there's a problem with the formula. Fengchen, I advise you not to test my patience. My suggestion is your only chance to live. If you refuse, don't blame me for taking your life. Qi Qingtian warned with a gloomy expression. Qi Qingtian, I think you know the value of the heavenly saint breaking pellet. If your Octave Divine Kingdom can get their hands on it, it won't take long for your Octave Divine Kingdom to become the #1 Divine Kingdom in the Central World. If you dare to act recklessly against me, I promise you that you'll miss out on the greatest opportunity of your life. Yi Chenfeng's mirror image was doing everything he could to stall for time. Is that so? Qi Chengtian's pupils constricted. Demonic light shot out from his deep eyes and penetrated the eyes of Yi Chenfeng's mirror image. The mirror image's reaction was slightly delayed. In the next moment, Qi Chengtian appeared in front of Yi Chenfeng's mirror image as if he had teleported. His right palm, which had 2 Tao diagrams circulating around it, slammed into the mirror image's chest, shattering it and snatching the parchment scroll from his hand. When he opened the parchment scroll, his expression darkened. He found that the parchment scroll was empty. There was not a single word on it. As for Yi Chenfeng, who was sent flying by his palm, he shattered like glass. At this moment, Yi Chenfeng's 2 great clones did not act immediately. Instead, they quickly returned to Shui Hanyan's room. Not good. Just as Qi Changtian realized that he had been tricked and was burning with rage, he found that the soul mark in Shui Hanyan's spirit sea was being eaten away. His expression changed immediately. Without hesitation, he detonated the soul mark that was eaten away by the God-Eater brain, wanting to destroy Shui Hanyan's soul. With the soul mark destroyed, Shui Hanyan's soul suffered a heavy blow. It was riddled with holes. Large amounts of blood flowed out from her 7 orifices, dyeing her beautiful face red. Fortunately, 2/3 of the soul mark in her spirit sea was eaten away by the God-Eater brain. The explosion of the soul mark did not kill her on the spot. Soul-restoring marrow, fuse. Seeing Shui Hanyan bleeding from her 7 orifices and having a splitting headache, Yi Chenfeng immediately took out the soul-restoring marrow that could repair soul damage. He fused it into her severely damaged spirit sea and quickly repaired her shattered soul. At this moment, the enraged Qi Changtian shattered the parchment scroll in his hand. With boundless killing intent, he rushed into Shui Hanyan's room. He wanted to capture Yi Chenfeng alive and steal the pill of breaking heavenly sage's shackles recipe. Suddenly, a terrifying aura that was many times stronger than Qi Qingtian's appeared beside Yi Chenfeng. It evolved into a frightening will of the Great Path, forming a terrifying spinning top vortex. It swallowed Qi Changtian, whose expression changed slightly in an attempt to tear his body apart. It was him. Feeling the terrifying power of the Tao will, Qi Chengtian's expression changed slightly. 2 quasi-sage level defensive treasures appeared in his body one after another to block the attack of the Tao will vortex. However, Song Kunwu was a 4-star Tao Saint after all. The attack of the Tao he evolved was extremely terrifying. The 2 quasi-sage level defensive treasures could not block it at all and were forcefully sent flying. Spatial precepts, spatial folds at this critical moment. Qi Changtian used his powerful spatial precepts to continuously fold the space in front of him. He forcefully reduced the speed of the vortex's attack and earned himself a chance to dodge it. He retreated pathetically. Qi Qingtian, I've broken the trap you left on Shui Hanyan's body and soul. Are you angry? Yi Chenfeng said coldly as he hugged Shui Hanyan's soft body tightly in his arms. He looked at Qi Chengtian, whose expression was as dark as water and whose eyes were twitching violently. Fengchun, I've underestimated your methods. Qi Qingtian's eyes were filled with dense, killing intent. But do you really think you can save her? Hearing Qi Qingtian's words, Yi Chenfeng's expression changed slightly. He suddenly looked at Shui Hanyan in his arms and felt that her blood vessels and heart meridians had exploded without warning. A large amount of blood spurted out, and her vitality was rapidly fading away. Blood vessels self-detonated. You actually left a trap in Shui Hanyan's body? Yi Chenfeng quickly took out a stalk of life spirit grass and fed it to Shui Hanyan's bleeding mouth to stabilize her injuries. It's useless. Her life is already in my hands. If I want her to live, she will live. If I want her to die, she will die without a doubt. Qi Qingtian revealed a trace of a sinister smile. It was as if Shui Hanyan was not his daughter, but his mortal enemy. The pearl of life suppressed her vitality. Sensing that Shui Hanyan's life force was rapidly fading away, Yi Chenfeng summoned the spiritual pearl of life that had fused with his shunting acupoint and fused it with Shui Hanyan's shattered heart meridian, suppressing her rapidly fading life force. In the next moment, Yi Chenfeng, Shui Hanyan, and Song Kunwu all disappeared at the same time. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1400. Spiritual Pearl of Life. Repair life meridian after returning to the Qingquan realm. Yi Chenfeng continued to activate the power of the spiritual pearl of life, releasing a powerful life force into Shui Hanyan's shattered body to forcefully repair her body and restore her lost life force. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. However, Shui Hanyan's injuries were severe due to the continuous attacks on her soul and body. Furthermore, the poison in her body was still active and her life was in danger. Fortunately, the spiritual grass of life was powerful enough, and the spiritual pearl of life was an innate sacred treasure. Under their combined healing, Shui Hanyan's life was saved, but her situation was not optimistic. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, a deafening explosion was heard outside the Qingquan realm. After locking onto the Qingquan realm's location, the furious Qi, Chengtian, and the others attacked the Qingquan realm. They wanted to break through the defenses and enter the Qingquan realm to capture Yi Chenfeng and the others alive. Let's go and kill. Sensing that Shui Hanyan's life was no longer in danger under the nourishment of the life spirit pearl, Yi Chenfeng was relieved. He sealed her in Song Kunwu's longevity stone and gave the supreme great holy treasure 9 dragons, jade annulus, to Song Kunwu. He also gave the 9 flood dragon picture to Lei Yi. Then he led everyone out of the universe realm and appeared in the outside world. 9 dragon jade annulus, destroy heaven and earth. Song Kunwu had basically stabilized his realm as a 4-star Dao Saint. In his hands, the 9 dragon jade annulus could unleash close to half of its power. Under his control, the 9 dragon jade annulus continued to expand, cutting off the chaotic space. It condensed into 4 killing frenzied dragons that continuously smashed apart the destructive attacks that were coming at them like tidal waves. Senior Song, kill Qi Chengtian with all your might. Yi Chenfeng's sharp eyes locked on a Qi Chengtian's gloomy face as he commanded him telepathically. All right, leave it to me. Song Kunwu held the 9 dragon jade annulus and continued to tear apart the destructive attacks as he charged towards Qi Chengtian. Dragon subduing pillars suppress heaven and earth. Song Kunwu attacked with a terrifying aura. Qi Chengtian and the 2 Nirvana realm masters beside him attacked at the same time. They formed 27 coiling dragon pillars and suppressed Song Kunwu. They wanted to combine the power of the 3 to suppress him. However, the difference in strength between a 4-star Dao Saint and a Nirvana Heaven Realm expert was simply too great. Under the attacks of Song Kunwu's Great Dao, the 27 coiling dragon pillars that were suppressing the heavens and earth were constantly being shattered. 8 ultimate demon formation. Seeing that Song Kunwu had shattered the 27 coiling dragon pillars, another 5 Nirvana Realm cultivators from the Octave Divine Nation appeared. Together with Qi Chengtian and the other 2, they formed an ancient formation that had been passed down for countless years. With the power of the ancient formation, they faced off against Song Kunwu, who was the strongest among them. Boom, boom, boom. The 8 extreme devil-killing formation was activated. Endless devil chi instantly transformed into hundreds of devil soldiers. They shattered the sky and slashed towards Song Kun Wu. Kunwu realm break. Using the 9-dragon jade annulus to attack consumed too much energy. Thus, Song Kun Wu didn't use it continuously. Instead, he controlled the mid-grade Saint Treasure, Kunwu Mirror, to reflect the heaven and earth. It shot out beams of mirror light that clashed fiercely with the demonic soldiers formed by the demonic formation. Song Kunwu, who was a 4-star Dao saint, fought against Qi, Chantan, and the other Nirvana heavenly realm cultivators by himself. Lei, he held the 9-serpent dragon portrait in his hand, and with the help of the fire Qilin, he fought fiercely against 3 Nirvana heavenly realm cultivators. The Marquis of Qianming, the Chaos Divine Beast, Ling Yu, and the others were under immense pressure as they fought against a large number of Octave Divine Nation experts. Just as the scene was in chaos, a large amount of golden light suddenly appeared in the void. 12 indestructible golden demon puppets appeared out of thin air. They formed a powerful demonic formation that was boiling with devil chi. They charged towards Yi, Chunfeng, and the others. The sword puppet, Golden Battle God, and Xingluo's clone helped the Marquis of Qianming and the others fight against the enemy. Although Yi Chunfeng controlled an extremely terrifying power, the foundation of the 8 divergent divine nation, which had been passed down for countless years, was too deep. They had many Nirvana heavenly realm experts and a large number of Nirvana earth realm experts. Seeing that the Marquis of Qianming and others were in trouble, Yi Chunfeng immediately sent his 2 avatars to help. He borrowed 2 low-grade Saint Artifact battlesuits and faced the 12 terrifying golden demon puppets. After trapping Yi Chunfeng in the demonic formation, the 12 golden demon puppets attacked at the same time. They blasted out punches that broke the firmament. The powerful fist rays attacked Yi Chunfeng's body, wanting to shatter him. 3 great bloodlines ignite with a thought. Yi Chunfeng's God-Devil bloodline, Dragon bloodline, and Celestial Venerable bloodline burned at the same time. The Saint Blood Pearl and Heaven Suppressing Pearl were completely activated, releasing a powerful force that rapidly increased his strength. In the blink of an eye, Yi Chunfeng's strength reached the limit of Nirvana. He was only 1 step away from the Nirvana heaven realm. Holding the myriad calamity flag that he had snatched from Li Tianyi, he disrupted the space and shattered the attacks of the 12 golden demon puppets. Relying on his absolute strength and astonishing defense, he resisted the attacks of the 12 golden demon puppets. A sword diagram appeared under Yi Chunfeng's feet as he flew in front of a golden demon puppet. 3 spirit-level Dao diagrams appeared on his body. He held the dragon spine, sacred sword, and fused it with a bronze sword soul. He stabbed at the chest of the golden demon puppet in front of him. In the next moment, more than 150 million kilograms of power erupted. The dragon spine's sacred sword, which had a large number of tool inscriptions, stabbed into his chest. The power Dao intent from the sacred sword and the power of the bronze sword soul quickly shattered his body. What was destroying a golden demon puppet with a single strike? Qi Chantan, who was controlling the 8 ultimate demon slaughter formation and fighting Song Kunwu, discovered that one of the golden demon puppets was destroyed by Yi Chunfeng's sword. His heart was in turmoil. He couldn't believe that Yi Chunfeng, who was a level 6 combat beast emperor, had such shocking battle strength. Kill, kill, kill. The 11 golden demon puppets that only knew how to kill let out a merciless roar. They attacked Yi Chunfeng at close range, wanting to injure him severely. Myriad Calamity Flag, Defense. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng controlled the Myriad Calamity Flag to shake violently. It rolled up the sky and formed a boundless myriad calamity power. It revolved around Yi Chunfeng's body, blocking the attacks of the 11 golden demon puppets. Theurgy Tyrannical Kick while using the Myriad Calamity Flag to block the attacks of the 11 golden demon puppets. Yi Chunfeng flew up and used the Tyrannical Kick to attack the golden demon puppet that was destroyed by his sword. With one stomp, all living things wailed in pain. The tyrannical kick that was filled with the power of hundreds of millions of kilograms crushed the golden demon puppet into pieces. After crushing a golden demon puppet, the power of the demonic slaughter formation was greatly reduced. Yi Qianfeng seized the opportunity to pursue and attack. He continuously used powerful saint skills and secret arts to attack the golden demon puppets. Under his all-out attack, another 2 golden demon puppets were smashed to pieces. Seeing Yi Qianfeng destroy 3 invaluable golden demon puppets, Qi Chengtian felt his heart bleeding. However, Song Kunwu's strength was too terrifying. With the help of the 9 Dragon Jade Annulus and Kunwu Realm, he continuously attacked the 8 ultimate demon slaughter formation. He had no time to deal with Yi Qianfeng, who dares to cause trouble in the 8 Extremities Palace. Suddenly, a furious roar was heard from afar. It sounded like a thunderclap. An old man in a dark gray robe with long white hair draped over his shoulders appeared. He was riding a 9-headed hydra with 9 heads. This old man in gray was the old divine emperor of the 8 Extremities Divine Nation, Qi Yixian, who was at the limit of the Nirvana heavenly realm. His strength was above Qi Chengtian, and he was almost invincible in the central world. The 9-headed hydra he rode had been guarding the 8 Extremities Divine Nation for countless years. It was a divine guardian beast of the 8 Extremities Divine Nation. Their appearance directly turned the situation around. Yi Qianfeng and the others were in an extremely dangerous situation. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1401. Come back. Yi Qianfeng's expression changed when he saw Qi Yixian riding the 9-headed snake. He immediately summoned Song Kunwu, the Marquis of Qianming, and the others back. A 4-star Dao Saint. Who are you? Why are you causing trouble in my palace? Qi Yixian, who was wearing a dark gray robe and had been sleeping, felt the terrifying aura emitted by Song Kunwu. He revealed a strange expression and asked in a low voice, "A junior like you doesn't need to know who I am." Although Qi Yixian was the old divine emperor of Octahead, he was still a junior compared to Song Kunwu, who had lived for countless years. No matter who you are, if you dare to cause trouble in my palace, I'll make sure you don't leave. Qi Yixian's murky eyes were filled with ferocity. The demonic aura on his body was like an erupting volcano. It shot into the sky and turned into a terrifying demonic shadow that roared in the sky. Old Divine Emperor, my Thousand Tribulations sect is here to help. Just as Qi Yixian and the 9-headed snake were about to attack, Li Fengxing appeared with several powerful experts from the Thousand Tribulations sect. This made Yi Qianfeng's situation even worse. Would numbers work? Yi Qianfeng didn't panic because of the appearance of the experts from the Thousand Tribulations sect. Instead, he was filled with a powerful battle intent. Fengshan, I'll kill you today and avenge my humiliation. After losing to Yi Qianfeng, Li Qianni, who had lost face, looked at Yi Qianfeng with hatred and gnashed his teeth. Li Qianni, you shouldn't have come today. A small character like you can only be cannon fodder. Yi Qianfeng looked at Li Qianni calmly and ignored his provocation. Li Qianni's face twisted in anger. Fengshan, you only have one last chance. Hand over the true recipe for the Heavenly Saint breaking pill, and I'll spare your life. Otherwise, I swear I'll crush your bones and scatter your ashes. Although Qi Changtian wanted to kill Yi Qianfeng immediately, he couldn't afford to lose the recipe for the Heavenly Saint breaking pill. He had to suppress his killing intent and said coldly, "If I want to leave, you useless people won't be able to stop me." Yi Qianfeng straightened his back and stood there proudly. To be presumptuous as the old divine emperor of the 8 branches divine emperor, one of the most powerful existences in the central world, when had Qi Yixian ever suffered such humiliation? Just as he was about to attack and kill Yi Qianfeng, Qi Chengtian suddenly sent him a telepathic message, telling him the effects of the Heavenly Saint breaking pellet. What? There is such a medicinal pill in the world? Qi Xian's snow-white eyebrows twitched, and a greedy look appeared in her eyes. As the old god emperor of 8 divergent divine nation, he had lived for close to 100,000 years and did not have much lifespan left. If he could obtain the heavenly saint-breaking pill and cross the nirvana heavenly realm to become a 4-star Tao saint, he would be able to walk into a brand new world and live for tens of thousands of more years. While Qi Yixian and Qi Chengtan were communicating telepathically, Yi Chunfeng summoned his golden wings feather and ignited his golden rock blood. He suddenly flew out of the palace. "Where are you going?" Qi Yixian, Qi Chantian, and the others roared. They all sealed the space and attacked Yi Chunfeng, wanting to injure him and capture him alive. Wrath of God Qi Yixian and the others attacked with shocking momentum. Yi Chunfeng decisively unleashed the wrath of God's wrath, which had a large attack range, towards Qi Yixian and the others. Although the wrath of God's wrath was powerful, it could not harm Qi Yixian and the other Nirvana heavenly realm cultivators at all, as they controlled their powerful Tao will to tear apart the wrath of God's wrath. Yi Chunfeng took advantage of the chaos to change direction and fly in another direction. "What are you all doing? Seal the space and don't let him escape." Qi Chengtian was determined to capture Yi Chunfeng alive and obtain the heavenly saint-breaking pellet recipe. He roared and ordered loudly. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Hearing Qi Chengtian's order, dozens of Nirvana heavenly realm cultivators from 8 divergent divine nation, as well as Li Fengxing and the others, surrounded Yi Chunfeng and sealed off all possible escape routes, trapping him in the middle. "Fengshen, today you will not be able to escape even if you have wings." Qi Chengtian's eyes revealed a sinister look. He and the others attacked Yi Chunfeng together. "Escape? Did I say I wanted to escape?" Yi Chunfeng revealed a trace of a cold smile. He took out the purple crystal he obtained from the ancient tomb. He quickly exploded with hundreds of millions of pounds of strength and forcefully crushed it. In the next moment, a destructive power that could change the color of heaven and earth was released from the purple crystal. It was like 100,000 feet long violent thunder, or like a meteor exploding, causing the sky to shake violently. In the blink of an eye, the space within a radius of a few miles collapsed. The restriction that enveloped the palace was also torn to pieces. Qi Changtian and the others, who could not dodge in time, were all swallowed by the destructive power. They were in a life-and-death crisis. What kind of power was this? Looking at the monstrous destructive power, the hearts of the 8 divergent divine nation cultivators in the distance trembled. They did not doubt that if they were swallowed by this destructive power, they would be blown to pieces in an instant. Not even their bones would be left. What a terrifying power. The destructive power of this purple crystal was several times more terrifying than the saint-slaying pearl. Qi Changtian and the others would probably lose a layer of skin even if they did not die. After detonating the purple crystal and hiding in the Qinquan realm, Yi Chunfeng felt cracks appear on the Qinquan realm's defense under the attack of the purple crystal. He immediately used his communication bead to send a message to Tsang Kunwu and the others, telling them to get ready. When the purple crystal's power dissipated, they would give Qi Chengtian and the others a fatal blow. 8 divergent imperial seal, demonic imperial seal, suppressing heaven and earth Qi Chengtian and Qi Yixian, whose injuries were worsening and hovering between life and death, both took out the 2 upper-rank holy treasures that had been passed down for countless years. They suppressed the collapsed space around them and counteracted the destructive power released by the purple crystal's explosion. They forcefully moved outwards. Qi Chengtian and Qi Yixian used the upper-rank holy treasures to resolve the crisis. However, many of the Nirvana realm cultivators of the 8 divergent divine nation who were not strong enough could not withstand it. Their bodies were constantly shattered, and in the end, they turned into clouds of blood mist and died in the increasingly violent destructive storm. 9 Dragon Jade Wall destroy. Seeing Qi Changtian and Qi Yixian using the 2 holy seals to tear apart the destructive storm, Tsang Kunwu stepped on the void and appeared in front of them. He controlled the Tao diagram to merge into the 9-dragon jade wall, forming 4 deadly dragons that bombarded the 2 of them. Boom, 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 boom. Under the bombardment of the 4 deadly dragons, Qi Chengtian and Qi Yixian were forcefully pushed back into the destructive storm. Their injuries worsened. Behind them, a Nirvana realm cultivator who wanted to break out of the encirclement was not lucky enough to escape. He was hit by a deadly dragon, and his body's defense was completely shattered. He fell into the center of the destructive storm, and with a painful howl, his body was torn apart by the destructive power, and he died. Feng Chun, if I don't kill you, I swear I'm not human. The Nirvana realm cultivators were the foundation of the divine nation. Every one of them was very important. Seeing a Nirvana realm cultivator die in the destructive storm, Qi Chengtian felt as if his heart was bleeding. He roared in anger. Qi Chengtian, you asked for all of this. Yi Chunfeng, who was in the Qinquan realm, replied domineeringly, I guarantee that they are just the beginning. I will turn the 8 divergent imperial palace into a living hell. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1402. After about 30 breaths, the destructive power released by the purple crystal gradually dissipated. All the buildings within a few miles of the waterside pavilion collapsed. Cries resounded throughout the sky. It was a complete mess. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test in the previous attack. 1 Nirvana realm cultivator, 7 Nirvana realm cultivators, and more than 10 Nirvana realm cultivators from Orochi Divine Nation died, tragically, in the destructive storm. Although Qi Yixian and Qi Chengtian survived until the end, they were severely injured and could not unleash their full strength. As for Li Qianni, who wanted to kill Yi Chunfeng to vent his anger, he was killed by the explosion of the purple crystal. Kill. Massacre the Orochi Palace. Seizing the opportunity, when Orochi Divine Nation's Nirvana realm cultivators suffered heavy casualties, Yi Chunfeng left the universe realm and ordered loudly, Roar, roar! The fire Qilin, whose body was burning with sacred flames, let out a long roar and shattered the void. It released a terrifying demonic power and attacked the 9-headed serpent that was riddled with scars and scales. It began a fierce battle with it. Demonic Emperor's seal, suppress. Qi Chengtian, who had never suffered such heavy injuries, let out a roar and controlled the demonic Emperor's seal to suppress the heavens and earth. It was like a majestic demonic mountain, attacking Yi Chunfeng, who was not far from him, wanting to suppress him. Watch out! Seeing that Yi Chunfeng was in danger, Song Kunwu roared and was about to rescue him with a 9-dragon jade annulus in his hand. Leave Qi Chengtian to me. You guys deal with the others. Massacre the Orochi Palace. Facing Qi Chengtian, Yi Chunfeng was fearless and ordered with high battle intent. After that, Yi Chunfeng used the life spirit technique that he had not used for a long time. He instantly burned 5,000 years of his life and borrowed the powerful life force to rapidly increase his strength. In the blink of an eye, Yi Chunfeng, who was a level 6 beast emperor, surpassed the Nirvana realm and possessed the strength of Nirvana realm. Then, he burned 3 of his bloodlines and merged the sacred blood pearl and the heaven-suppressing orb, further increasing his strength. He broke through the limit of Nirvana realm and possessed the strength of Nirvana realm for a short period of time. He stepped on the sword and tore apart the space suppressed by the demonic emperor's seal, dodging the fatal attack of the demonic emperor. What? What is this? Sensing that Yi Chunfeng's strength had reached the Nirvana heavenly realm in an instant, the wounded Qi Chengtian widened his eyes. He could not believe that such a supernatural ability existed in this world. He had to capture this Feng Chun alive and force him to reveal all his secrets. Qi Chengtian felt that Yi Chunfeng was a bottomless treasure trove. If he could capture him alive, he would definitely be able to obtain unexpected benefits. Straight line / while Qi Chengtian was still in shock, Yi Chunfeng wielded the dragon's pine, saintly sword. His entire body drew a blinding light in the air as he stabbed towards Qi Qingtian's chest. Demonic sword, although Qi Qingtian was heavily injured, he was still a peak Nirvana realm cultivator. His soul was even more powerful. He locked onto the trajectory of Yi Chunfeng's straight-line slash and used the high-grade saint weapon, the demonic emperor's sword, which had been with him for tens of thousands of years, to counter with all his might. When the tips of the two sacred swords collided, Yi Chunfeng's 400 million pounds of strength exploded. Coupled with the amplification of the bronze sword spirit, Yi Chunfeng was not at a disadvantage when he clashed with Qi Qingtian's attack. A terrifying repulsive force was released at the point of contact, tearing apart the surrounding space. Demonic Emperor's seal, suppress him to death. Qi Qingtian did not expect Yi Chunfeng to use a secret technique to block his attack head-on. He controlled the demonic Emperor's seal to suppress Yi Chunfeng. Black tainted blood at the critical moment. Yi Chunfeng used the black tainted blood to corrupt the demonic Emperor's seal, greatly weakening its power. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng summoned his natal treasure, the chaotic divine wood. It swayed with the five-color divine light and clashed with the demonic Emperor's seal, blocking the fatal blow of the demonic Emperor's seal. Black tainted blood, you actually have this thing? Feeling the demonic Emperor's seal's power rapidly decreasing, Qi Qingtian's expression changed. Qianquan sword formation at this moment. 108 Qianquan swords flew out of Yi Chunfeng's body. They turned into a terrifying sword tornado and swept towards Qi Qingtian. Qi Qingtian, who was severely injured and could not unleash his full power, had no choice but to change his move to dodge. True demonic 9 shadows Qi Qingtian's body flashed as he used the number 1 speed skill of the Octave Divination. In an instant, 9 shadows of speed were formed. With the amplification of speed, they attacked Yi Chunfeng, trying to suppress him with speed. Sword steps faced with Qi Qingtian's extreme speed attack. Yi Chunfeng used the sword steps and increased his speed by 10 times to meet the attack. In the process of meeting the attack, the God-Eater brain quickly calculated the trajectory of Qi Qingtian's attack. You've cultivated the sword steps to perfection. The sword steps was a divine ability of the Octave Divination, but it was not complete. It was extremely difficult to cultivate it to perfection. I've already perfected the sword steps, but I still have to thank you for giving me such a great gift. Yi Chunfeng said on purpose to disturb Qi Qingtian's mind and find a flaw in his attack. As expected, after hearing Yi Chunfeng's words, Qi Qingtian's mind wavered and his attention was distracted. Qianquan sword formation, Qianquan strike. With his sharp senses, Yi Chunfeng seized this fleeting opportunity. The 108 Qianquan swords that had turned into a sword tornado quickly gathered and formed a gigantic Qianquan sword that was dozens of feet long. It was entwined with a powerful will of the Great Path. With a terrifying sword will, it slashed towards Qi Qingtian. 6 strokes of yin and yang facing the attack of the Qianquan sword. Qi Qingtian, who had guarded his heart, did not retreat. He activated his powerful bloodline power and formed the yin-yang spirit level Tao diagram. He used the divine ability of the Octave Divination and slashed out streaks of yin-yang sword that were evolving with the will of the yin-yang sword. The sword of yin and yang continuously slashed at the Qianquan sword. Gujianga, sword heart connected to the moon. Yi Chunfeng did not slow down his attack after the Qianquan strike was broken. 3 spirit-level Tao diagrams appeared on his body. An ancient sword that was evolving with the Great Path and mixed with the sound of the Great Path slashed down from the sky. It was like a bright moon shining high in the sky, unleashing boundless might of the Great Path and shattering everything. It slashed towards Qi Qingtian, whose expression changed slightly. Pung 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 under the attack of the sword heart connected to the moon. Qi Qingtian's yin-yang 6 swords were forcefully shattered. The terrifying ancient sword of the Great Path slashed onto the demonic emperor's sword in front of Qi Qingtian and exploded with shocking power. It forced Qi Qingtian to retreat and aggravated his injuries. A stream of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. After injuring Qi Chengtian with one strike, Yi Chenfeng did not give him a chance to breathe. He followed up with another attack and used all his strength to suppress him. The sky-burning sacred fire and the holy thunder of purple beginnings were also under his control. They continuously attacked Qi Chengtian's body and gradually suppressed his attacks. However, Qi Chengtian was the divine emperor of the octave divine nation after all. His foundation was too deep. He continued to use one unimaginably powerful treasure after another to neutralize Yi Chenfeng's continuous attacks. Vertigo technique. Just as Yi Chenfeng and Qi Chengtian were engaged in a fierce battle, Yi Chenfeng's four-star divine, Saint's soul, completely exploded. Like a heavy hammer, it slammed into Qi Chengtian's sea of soul. Although Qi Chengtian had a treasure to protect his soul, Yi Chenfeng's soul was too powerful. Qi Chengtian, who was defenseless, was still affected. His soul felt like it was being pricked by needles, and his reaction was also slightly delayed. Heaven and earth strike, seizing this fleeting opportunity. Yi Chenfeng controlled the 108 heaven and earth swords to fuse together once again. They blended with a terrifying Tao will and a force of more than 400 million pounds. They viciously slashed at Qi Chengtian, causing him to fall from mid-air to the ground and creating a huge crater. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Say button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1403. His Majesty the Godly Emperor. Witnessing the scene of Qi Chengtian being slashed by Yi Chenfeng, the masters of Octahead Divine Nation who were fighting Song Kunwu and the others panicked. Watermark advertisement. Test watermark advertisement test. If something were to happen to Qi Chengtian, it would cause immeasurable damage to Octahead Divine Nation. It would become an unerasable stain in the history of Octahead Divine Nation. True demon tactics covered in blood. Qi Chengtian broke out of the hole in the ground and used the true demon tribe's sacred tactics. The demonic energy in his body seemed to be ignited as it boiled violently. However, his injuries were too severe. Even if he used the true demon tactics and consumed 2 quasi-sage pills, he could not suppress the worsening injuries. Feng Chundai, the furious Qi Chengtian roared. 3 pitch-black pearls flew out and attacked Yi Chenfeng. Boom, boom, boom. 3 deafening explosions rang out, and the terrifying explosive power directly smashed a black hole into the space where Yi Chenfeng was. However, with the help of the God-Eater brain, Yi Chenfeng had already sensed the danger and hid in the Qinquan realm. He was not hurt by the explosion of the 3 black pearls. Qi Chengtian, you should accept your fate. You can't do anything to me. When the explosion in the space subsided, Yi Chenfeng left the Qinquan realm. Under Qi Chengtian's furious gaze, he approached him with sword steps. With the dragon's pine sacred sword in his hand, he controlled the Qinquan sword formation to attack him. While the two of them were fighting fiercely in the air, Yi Chenfeng waved his left hand, and a dark purple crystal flew towards Qi Chengtian. Not good. Looking at the purple crystal, Qi Chengtian's expression changed. Without thinking, he dodged to the side instinctively. Doomsday calamity. As Qi Chengtian dodged with all his might, Yi Chenfeng merged with the Death Spirit Orb and derived the Tao diagram of life and death to the extreme. He condensed 3 doomsday calamities that devoured all light and bombarded Qi Chengtian with the power of calamity. Boom, boom, boom. 3 loud explosions were heard. The 3 doomsday calamities exploded. The terrifying power of calamity devoured Qi Chengtian's body and destroyed his defense. Damn it, you lied to me. Qi Chengtian, who was attacked by Doomsday, realized that the purple crystal that Yi Chenfeng had just shot out was a fake. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. Ignoring his injuries, he stepped on the 9 true demon shadows and approached Yi Chenfeng. Holy Demon's Sword chant. The enraged Qi Chengtian pushed the power of Tao Will to the extreme. He unleashed the powerful sword of the holy demon, slashing out streaks of sword light that looked like spatial rifts as he attacked Yi Chenfeng. To die while Yi Chenfeng was slowly being suppressed by Qi Qingtian's holy demon sword technique, he quickly threw a purple crystal at Qi Qingtian. Qi Qingtian could still vividly remember the destructive power of the purple crystal's explosion. So when he saw the purple crystal flying toward him, he instinctively felt a trace of fear. Black Dragon of Extinction Sword. When Qi Qingtian's attack slowed down, the three spiritual level Dao diagrams floating above Yi Chenfeng's head turned into a sea of Dao will. They merged into the Dragon's Pine sacred sword along with the bronze sword spirit. A black dragon-like sword light shot out, splitting the space and slashing toward Qi Qingtian with a frightening force. 3 heads and 6 arms. When Yi Chenfeng's Black Dragon of Extinction sword forced Qi Qingtian to retreat, Yi Chenfeng transformed into his ultimate form with 3 heads and 6 arms. He appeared in front of Qi Qingtian with 6 heavy weapons in his hands. He unleashed a force of more than 400 million pounds. He waved his 6 thick arms and attacked Qi Qingtian continuously. What's your relationship with the Qilin royal family? Qi Qingtian saw that Yi Chenfeng had transformed into the Qilin royal family's most mysterious secret Abijna and began to suspect his identity. Yi Chenfeng ignored Qi Qingtian's question. He held the 6 heavy weapons in his hands and unleashed a terrifying force. He attacked ferociously and suppressed Qi Qingtian's attack once again. Yi Chenfeng and Qi Qingtian fought fiercely and gradually gained the upper hand. Song Kunwu and the others seized the opportunity when most of the Nirvana realm cultivators of the Octave Divination were injured by the purple crystal to launch a tidal wave of attacks. They gained an overwhelming advantage. 9 Dragon Jade Annulus kill. Song Kunwu drank a big gulp of the divine fate water and continued to evolve the great Tao. He condensed 4 deadly dragons and forced Qi Yixian, who was spitting out blood, to retreat. He then smashed a Nirvana realm cultivator who was covered in blood into minced meat and shattered his Nirvana heart. He died on the spot. After killing 1 cultivator, Song Kunwu continued to attack. He chased after the Nirvana realm cultivators who were constantly dodging like birds startled by the twang of a bow. Old bastard, let your grandpa Chaos send you to hell. The Chaos Divine Beast in his battle form roared and unleashed 300 million pounds of strength. He threw the ancient bronze coffin at the Thousand Calamity hierarch, Li Fengxing. Although Li Fengxing's strength was far superior to the Chaos Divine Beast, the purple crystal was too harmful to him. His combat power was greatly weakened, so he did not dare to take the ancient bronze coffin head-on. He quickly dodged to the side. The moment he dodged, the sword puppet and golden god of war appeared beside him. They restricted his movements and prevented him from dodging. He could only take the ancient bronze coffin and Yi Chenfeng's attacks head-on. Boom! Boom! Li Fengxing relied on his powerful strength to withstand the 3 fatal attacks. Before he had a chance to take a breather, Lei Yi approached him with the 9 dragon diagram in his hand. He controlled the 9 dragon diagram to condense 9 dragon spirits and attacked his body continuously. Half of his body was destroyed, and he fell to the ground heavily. His son had died tragically, and he was heavily injured. The regretful Li Fengxing did not dare to stay for long. He wanted to use blood escape to escape. However, the entire Orochi royal palace was sealed off by a terrifying formation, cutting off Li Fengxing's escape route. He could only take an extremely precious divine pellet to suppress the wounds on his broken body and defend against the attacks launched by Lei, Yi, and the others. The battle in the Orochi royal palace became more and more intense. Many of the buildings that had been passed down for countless years were destroyed. The terrifying battle shocked the entire Orochi royal family. Soon, the shocking changes in the Orochi royal palace spread to the 2 divine kingdoms and many top-tier sacred grounds of the central continent through various channels. After learning that Feng Chun, who had shaken the central world with his alchemy skills 3 years ago, had led his people to defeat the Orochi royal family, the entire central world was in an uproar again, especially the Nine Heavens Divine Kingdom and the Kirin Kingdom. They were deeply shocked by this news. They could not imagine that Yi Chanfeng had the power to fight against the Divine Kingdom in just 3 years. Such terrifying means and charisma made them feel a strong sense of danger. For a moment, all the forces in the central world focused their attention on the chaotic Orochi royal palace, paying attention to the development of the situation. And the name Feng Chun was completely famous in the central world. Yin Lei's WeChat public number, YLTY83. If you want to know the latest news of this book, add mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1404. Old Bastard Die For Me. While Li Fengxing was desperately defending himself with his broken body, the Chaos Divine Beast attacked again with a shocking power. The Chaos Divine Beast held a low-grade Saint artifact, the light-splitting dual axes, and slashed down fiercely. The terrifying axes directly broke through his defense, slashed open his broken body, and shattered his Nirvana heart. Boom! The shattering of the Nirvana heart directly cut off Li Fengxing's vitality. He had no choice but to self-detonate the Nirvana heart and launch the most fatal attack to the Chaos Divine Beast. However, the moment he self-detonated the Nirvana heart, the indestructible sword puppet rushed over and directly grabbed his broken body and rushed towards several Nirvana realm experts of 8 Paths Divination. Not good. Quickly dodge. Feeling the destructive power spreading out from Li Fengxing's body, these Nirvana realm experts of 8 Paths Divination revealed a terrified expression and quickly dodged to the side. Boom! The moment they dodged, the Nirvana heart in Li Fengxing's body exploded and directly bombarded the few Nirvana realm almighties, killing 3 Earth realm almighties who were riddled with wounds and severely injuring 1 Nirvana heavenly realm almighties. Die. When this severely injured Nirvana realm expert wanted to hide, the sword puppet burned a large amount of energy and fused with the Black Dragon Divine sword to launch a fatal attack on him. The sword shattered the void and split this Nirvana realm expert into 2 halves, shattering his Nirvana heart and killing him on the spot. Everyone below Nirvana realm, quickly evacuate from this place. Qi Yixian, who was bathed in blood, saw that 4 Nirvana heavenly realm experts, more than 10 Nirvana earth realm experts, and more than 20 human Nirvana realm experts, including Li Fengxing, had died tragically. His heart fell to the bottom as he loudly ordered. After this battle, whether they could kill Yi Chanfeng and the others or not, the overall strength of 8 Paths Divination would be greatly reduced. Without tens of thousands of years of cultivation, it would be very difficult for them to recover their strength. Want to leave? Not so easy. Song Kun, who was covered in blood, like a blood-soaked Azura roared. He held the 9-dragon Jade Annulus and chased after the Nirvana realm experts of 8 Paths Divination. Baki Jinjutsuin, Qi Yixian saw Song Kun Wu charging over. He decisively blocked him with the other 3 Nirvana heavenly realm experts who were covered in blood. At the same time, they conjured demonic shadows and sealed the space around Song Kun Wu as they attacked him together. The 9 dragons, Jade Annulus cut off the void. After a series of fierce battles, Song Kun Wu's consumption was also very obvious. He didn't dare to take the Baki illusionary demonic art, which was known as the number 1 saint technique of the Baki Divination. He controlled the 9-dragon Jade Wall to constantly expand, isolating the space and taking the Baki illusionary demonic art head-on. While Song Kun Wu was besieged by Qi Yixian and the others, Lei Yi, the Chaos Divine Beast, Jin Qing Long Shui Lion, and the others rushed over with their low-grade saint artifacts. When Song Kun Wu and the others were suppressing Qi Yixian and the others, the chaos divine, wood that was swaying in the chaotic light of the five elements, whipped away the devil emperor's seal that was tainted by the black blood, and its power was greatly reduced. Under the control of Yi Qinfeng's thoughts, the devil emperor's seal attacked the severely injured Qi Qingtian and sent him flying. Qi Qingtian, your time is up. Accept your death obediently. Feeling that his life force was beginning to fade, Yi Qinfeng ignored the injuries on his body and continued to attack Qi Qingtian. He was determined to kill him. Just when Qi Qingtian and the others were in a life-threatening situation, a terrifying power awakened in the forbidden area of the Baki Imperial Palace, the Devil Mountain. In the next moment, a huge pitch-black hand appeared in the sky above the Orochi Palace, which was shrouded in a thick stench of blood and shrouded in terrifying restrictions. With a power that made one despair, it went towards Yi Qinfeng. The true devil's hand. Was it the devil spirit saint or the devil lord that had awakened? Looking at the huge hand that suddenly appeared, Qi Qingtian and the others let out a long sigh of relief. They were completely relieved. Boom! The huge black hand imprinted on the Qinquan mirror that was hidden in the void. The terrifying power directly cracked the terrifying defense of the Qinquan mirror, causing the Qinquan mirror to shake. Yi Qinfeng, who was hiding in the Qinquan mirror in time, almost lost his balance. A supreme grade holy treasure. This huge black hand was an attack from a supreme grade holy treasure. Feeling the terror of the huge black hand through the Qinquan mirror, Yi Qinfeng smelled a strong sense of danger. He wanted to retreat in his heart. He left the Qinquan mirror and decisively gathered everyone. At this moment, a man whose body was shrouded in demonic light and whose appearance could not be seen clearly appeared holding a huge hand that was as black as ink. A 6-star devil saint. The Baki Imperial Kingdom indeed had a devil saint that was not dead yet. The Imperial Kingdom's foundation was indeed terrifying. Through the God-Eater brain, Yi Qinfeng discovered that the man shrouded in demonic light was a 6-star devil saint that should have existed in the celestial realm. Other than this 6-star devil saint, Yi Qinfeng also knew that there was a devil lord that was sleeping in the Devil Mountain. He did not dare to stay any longer. Everyone obeyed and merged all their Tao intent into the 9-dragon jade wall to break the Imperial Kingdom of Baki's Imperial Kingdom's protective array. Yi Qinfeng transmitted his voice. Hearing Yi Qinfeng's transmission, Song Kunwu and the others immediately deduced their Tao intent to the extreme and merged it into the 9-dragon jade wall to increase the attack power of the 9-dragon jade wall. Yes, a supreme grade holy treasure of the Dragon Clan. Feeling the power of the dragon from the 9-dragon jade wall, the man shrouded in demonic light exclaimed in surprise. He was shocked that there was a Dragon Clan relic in the Duhan continent. One had to know that the Dragon Clan was a very powerful and terrifying race in the celestial realm. Their overall strength was above the true Demon Clan. This was the first time he knew that a Dragon Clan expert had come to this world. Lord Devil Saint, go and do not let them escape. Qi Qingtian, who was severely injured, immediately reminded Yi Qinfeng and the others when he saw that they wanted to break out of the encirclement. Run. With this saint here, they will not be able to escape. The Devil Saint said proudly. He held the true demon's hand and pressed it towards Yi Qinfeng and the others. As the palm pressed down, heaven and earth trembled. The terrifying power made Yi Qinfeng and the others feel suffocated. They felt that death was approaching. Sword Puppet, defend. Yi Qinfeng did not use the 9-dragon jade wall to attack. Instead, he ordered the indestructible Sword Puppet to go up and burn its powerful energy to resist the attack of the true demon's hand. Boom! The true demon's hand pressed onto the Sword Puppet's body, instantly depleting half of its energy. However, the Sword Puppet was a puppet created by the Spirit Clan. It was extremely sturdy. After taking the attack of the supreme grade holy treasure, it was not damaged at all. This made the Devil Saint surprised. 9-dragon jade wall, attack. As the Sword Puppet burned its energy to resist the attack of the true demon's hand, Yi Qinfeng controlled the 9-dragon jade wall to release 6 deadly dragons. They roared and attacked the guardian formation that covered the void. Boom! Boom! Under the bombardment of the 6 deadly dragons, the 8 sky-reaching towers began to shake, and the powerful protective formation was instantly filled with cracks, revealing a large hole. Let's go. After successfully breaking the guardian formation of the Orochi royal family, Yi Qinfeng immediately sent everyone into the Qinquan realm and crushed the 10,000-mile teleportation orb. Not good. Quickly seal the space. Feeling the teleportation power surging out of Yi Qinfeng's body, Qi Qingtian and the others quickly sealed the void. The Devil Saint also attacked Yi Qinfeng at this time. He wanted to interrupt the teleportation power and kill Yi Qinfeng. Boom! The place where Yi Qinfeng was standing had a bottomless pit created by the Devil Spirit Saint. The entire Orochi palace was shaking from this attack. When the dust settled, Qi Qingtian and the others were furious. They realized that Yi Qinfeng had been sent thousands of miles away by the 10,000 miles teleportation formation at the last moment. He had escaped from the Orochi Palace. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1405. Nearly 30 Nirvana realm cultivators of the Orochi royal family were killed. The ancient holy demon sage of the Orochi royal family was awakened. Feng Chen escaped from the Orochi royal family. These 3 pieces of news spread throughout the central world like a hurricane, causing the 9 heavens divine kingdom and the Kirin kingdom to fall into a state of shock. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test in the dazzling and magnificent 9 heavens God Nation Imperial Palace. These 3 pieces of news were true. The Orochi royal family had more than 30 Nirvana realm cultivators killed by Feng Chen and awakened the ancient holy demon sage. But they escaped from the ancient holy demon sage. The 9 heavens divine emperor, Dao Ju, was wearing a golden dragon robe and exuding a kingly aura. His entire body seemed to have merged with the space around him, and every move he made could affect the power of heaven and earth. After hearing his subordinate's report, he frowned and asked in a low voice. Although the 9 heavens divine kingdom's overall strength was above that of the Orochi royal family, it was not much stronger. If Yi Qinfeng and his group could kill so many cultivators of the Orochi royal family, they could also pose a great threat to the 9 heavens divine kingdom. Reporting to His Majesty, these 3 pieces of information are true. A 9 heavens divine nation guard, who was in charge of communication, knelt on the ground and respectfully reported, "I heard that in this battle, the 8 heavens divine nation lost 3 Nirvana heavenly realm masters, and the 1,000 calamity sect master and the others who came to help were completely annihilated. They all died in the hands of Feng Chen. What kind of power does Feng Chen have? With his age and strength, how could he cause so much damage to the Orochi royal family?" Dao Ju fell into deep thought and analyzed in his heart whether the attack on the heavenly mountain island had anything to do with him. "I heard that Feng Chen has the support of a 4-star Dao Saint, and it was because of him that the Orochi royal family suffered such heavy losses." The guard continued to report. Could this Feng Chen be related to the ancient human race? Dao Ju's face revealed a hint of surprise as he guessed in his heart. This Feng Chen must be eliminated, or the 9 heavens divine kingdom will be in danger sooner or later. Dao Ju smelled danger from Yi Qinfeng and was prepared to kill Feng Chen and the others at all costs, nipping the danger in the bud. The divine emperor of the Kirin kingdom, Qian Hongyan, and Dao Ju had the same idea, which was to mobilize powerful cultivators to hunt down Yi Qinfeng. They could not allow him to continue growing. Besides pursuing Yi Qinfeng, Qian Hongyan was also very interested in the fire qilin that was by Yi Qinfeng's side. If she could tame the fire qilin and use its blood to nourish their bloodline, then the overall strength of the Kirin kingdom would increase by another level. The 3 divine nations were determined to kill Yi Qinfeng. When the Heavenly Hall received this news, they fell into a dilemma. Feng Chen's guts were simply too big. He actually dared to sweep through 8 divergent divine nation and kill over 30 Nirvana realm experts. Now, There would be no place for him in the central world. The vice palace master of the heavenly palace, Xian Qingyun, sighed softly. He was worried about Yi Qinfeng's safety. That's right. Feng Chun sweeping through 8 divergent divination will definitely cause the 9 heavens divination and the Kirin kingdom to sense danger. They will eliminate him at the same time. His current situation is probably very dangerous. The Heavenly Hall Palace Master, Xian Hongzheng, nodded and said with a serious expression, "Palace Master, should we secretly help Feng Chun?" Xian Qingyun thought for a moment and asked. "We must help," Xian Hongzheng said decisively. "Putting aside Feng Chen's kindness to the Heavenly Hall, I suspect that his bold and crazy actions are related to Luotian Sr. Palace Master, are you saying that Luotian Sr. is supporting him?" Xian Qingyun and the others raised their eyebrows and asked in shock. "This is very likely. Otherwise, with his strength and foundation, how could he cause 8 divergent divine nation to suffer such losses? Furthermore, he has a 4-star Dao Saint expert by his side. I suspect that 4-star Dao Saint expert is an ancient human who has yet to die. How about this? Send people to investigate Feng Chen's whereabouts and think of a way to find him. I will go and contact Luotian Sr. and the Dao addict now." Xian Hongzheng took a deep breath and finally decided. At the same time, God Burial Valley was also shocked by this news. Old Fifth is too powerful. He single-handedly swept through the 8 divergent divine nation and killed more than 30 Nirvana realm experts. Even now, I still can't believe that this is true. The tall and sturdy Xuan Wu, who looked like an iron tower, drank a large mouthful of fragrant wine and said excitedly, "I also didn't expect Old Fifth to control such a terrifying power." Tianji, who was shrouded in black light and whose true appearance couldn't be seen, praised, "Big brother, do you think it was Luotian Sr. who helped him put on the devil mask?" Ghostface thought for a moment and asked, "After knowing what happened in the 8 divergent divine nation, I immediately contacted Master. Master told me that he didn't know about this." Tianji shook his head and said, "Silver-haired devil dove, who didn't know why there was a 4-star Dao Saint expert by Old Fifth side, frowned and asked in confusion, 'Old Fifth isn't simple.' Master said that even he couldn't see through Old Fifth." Tianji said calmly, "However, Master said that Old Fifth will be the hope of our human race. He wants us to help him at all costs. He will also rush over to help. All right, as I expected, Old Fifth should still be in 8 divergent divine nation. Let's go find him. No matter what, we can't let anything happen to Old Fifth." Tianji stood up and said, "All right, let's go." Xuan Wu smashed the exquisite wine flask in his hand and followed Tianji and company out of God Burial Valley. They rode on a luxurious spirit boat and rushed towards 8 divergent divine nation. Just as everyone was searching for Yi Qinfeng's whereabouts, Yi Chanfeng, who had escaped from the Orohead Imperial Palace by crushing the teleportation formation, concealed himself, changed his appearance and aura, and left the Orohead Imperial City. He hid the damaged universe mirror in the depths of a huge lake in Orohead Divine Nation. This place should be safe. Even if that ancient demon sage has heaven-defying methods, he can forget about finding us. Recalling the strength of the ancient demon sage, Yi Qinfeng felt a lingering fear. If he didn't have that universe mirror, he wouldn't be able to escape death even if he hid in the universe mirror. The Divine Nation's foundation was indeed terrifying. They actually had the ancient demon sage. Although Tsang Kun Wu had broken through to 4-star Dao Saint, he still felt powerless when facing the ancient demon sage. That ancient demon sage might not be the last trump card of 8 divergent Divine Nation. Recalling that the God-eating brain sensed the bloodline aura of the ancient demon sage in the Demon Mountain, Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and said, "I suspect that there is still an ancient demon sage sleeping in the Demon Mountain of 8 divergent Divine Nation." The ancient demon sage Marquis, Qianming, sucked in a breath of cold air and said, "If there is really an ancient demon sage in 8 divergent Divine Nation, then we are in a very dangerous situation. Although the ancient demon sage is strong, I don't think he can make a move casually. Otherwise, he would have killed us long ago." Yi Chunfeng analyzed, but to be cautious, we should hide here for a while and wait for the outside to calm down before leaving. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng took a drop of life spirit liquid and recovered 5,000 years of his life. He took out a large number of elixirs and gave them to everyone. Then he started a long period of seclusion in the universe mirror. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1406. Chihai City, a large city close to the mysterious sea of Orochi Divine Kingdom, was also a famous trade city of Orochi Divine Kingdom. Watermark advertisement test watermark advertisement test. Because it was close to the mysterious sea, there would be a large number of treasures flowing into Chihai City every day through the various major ports, and then spread out through various channels. It could be said that Chihai City was a gold mine, and it was also a very important place for the Eight Paths Divine Kingdom to gather gold. Chihai City finally arrived. From afar, Chihai City, which was situated at the edge of the mysterious sea, occupied an extremely large area and had a completely different architectural style. A man who wore a luxurious robe, had a slightly plump figure, and an ordinary appearance, followed the bustling crowd and walked into Chihai City. And this man in a luxurious robe was Yi Chunfeng, who had been cultivating in the universe realm for more than a year and felt that the storm was gradually dissipating. After several turns, he came to Chihai City. The reason why Yi Chunfeng came to Chihai City in disguise was to loot this place, to replenish the consumption of the Battle of Orochi Imperial Palace, and to give Orochi Divine Kingdom a heavy blow and announce his return. After asking around, Yi Chunfeng arrived at the largest shop in Chihai City. It was a 5-story building that looked like a pagoda. It was shrouded in a strong restriction and looked very bustling, the ocean gazing pavilion. "Young master, what do you want to buy?" Yi Chunfeng, who was dressed extravagantly and exuded wealth, had just entered the sea-gazing pavilion when a tall and beautiful woman wearing a tight-fitting qipao walked over, exuding a mesmerizing fragrance. Then she asked in a gentle voice, "What are you doing?" "I want to buy a transmission stone. I don't know if your pavilion sells it." Yi Chunfeng narrowed his small eyes, deliberately looking at the woman in Chongsam's curvaceous and charming body, and asked frivolously, "Yes, but the value of transmission stone is relatively high. Each one costs 10 million top-grade soul crystals." Feeling the burning color in Yi Chunfeng's eyes, the woman in Chongsam was not annoyed. The smile on her face became wider, and she said softly, "Okay, I'll buy 100 transmission stones," Yi Chunfeng said in a rich and imposing manner. The woman in the Chongsam sucked in a mouthful of cold air, and a pleasantly surprised expression appeared on her charming face. If she could make this deal, Wanghai Pavilion would reward her with a lot of top-grade soul crystals. This made her even more enthusiastic as she said, "Gongzi, please follow me to the back hall." Yi Chunfeng nodded and followed the Chongsam woman to the back hall. "Young master, 100 teleportation stones cost 1 billion top-grade soul crystals. Does young master really want to buy so many?" The woman in Chongsam bowed slightly and poured a cup of fragrant spirit tea for Yi Chunfeng as she asked softly, "Now, I've changed my mind. I want 200 teleportation stones. Do you have any?" Yi Chunfeng purposely revealed a lecherous smile when he saw the woman in the Chongsam bow, revealing 2 mesmerizing curves. "What does young master need so many teleportation stones for?" The Chongsam woman ignored Yi Chunfeng's gaze that was peeking at her body and asked softly, "Why? Are you interested in my affairs? Why don't you accompany me tonight? The price is negotiable." Yi Chunfeng revealed a playful smile and changed the topic. "Ha ha ha. If young master is sincere, I have time tonight." Although Yi Chunfeng was not handsome, the heroism in his voice deeply attracted the woman in the Chongsam. Her charming red lips smiled slightly and said in a fanciful manner, 50 million top-grade soul crystals. Accompany me for a month." Yi Chunfeng took out a universe ring and said in a rich and imposing manner, Ha ha. This month, it will be young master's woman. The woman in the Chong Sam took the universe ring from Yi Chunfeng, checked it, and excitedly kissed Yi Chunfeng's cheek and said with joy, "Well, go and get the teleportation stones I want. Don't waste time." Yi Chunfeng gently patted the woman's slightly perky butt and urged her with a smirk. "Well, young master, wait for me." The woman in the Chong Sam looked at Yi Chunfeng coquettishly and got up to go get the teleportation stones. Seeing her swaying sexy waist and slender legs as she left, Yi Chunfeng's burning gaze disappeared. The reason why he wanted to keep the woman in the Chong Sam for a month was not because he was mesmerized by her beauty, but because he wanted to better conceal his identity. Very soon, the woman in the Chong Sam brought a white-haired old man in a black robe who emitted a faint demonic aura to the back hall. After confirming Yi Chunfeng's identity, they completed the transaction. "Oh, right. Does your pavilion have any superior grade or medial grade heavenly crystals?" After successfully obtaining 200 teleportation stones, Yi Chunfeng asked about other things. Young master must be joking. There are only a few superior grade heavenly crystals in the entire Central Great Realm. How can my ocean-gazing pavilion have any? However, I can get some medial grade heavenly crystals for young master through my channels. However, each medial grade heavenly crystal is very valuable, the black-robed old man said politely after sizing up Yi Chunfeng. "How about this, Vice Pavilion Master? I'll leave you with a list. See if you can gather all the items on the list. The price is negotiable." Yi Chunfeng took out a list that he had written long ago and handed it to the black-robed old man. "There are so many valuable items here." When the black-robed old man saw the items on the list, he was startled. The items on the list were all rare and precious. There were even spiritual items that he had never heard of before. The value of these items was immeasurable. "If your pavilion accepts this deal, I can pay 1 billion peak-grade soul crystals as a deposit first," Yi Chunfeng said generously. "All right, my ocean-gazing pavilion will accept this deal." 1 billion peak-grade soul crystals was not a small number. The black-robed old man hesitated for a moment before accepting this deal. "Then I'll wait for your good news." Yi Chunfeng narrowed his eyes and smiled. "By the way, I just came to Qihai City and am unfamiliar with the people in the place. However, I feel like old friends with Miss Wonder at first sight. I wonder if Vice Pavilion Master can let Miss Wonder accompany me for a month." "Of course, no problem." The black-robed old man was thinking of placing a spy around Yi Chunfeng, so he happily agreed. "Wonder, you must take good care of young Master Jean. Don't make him angry." "Yes, Wonder understands." The Chong Sam woman nodded and promised in a soft voice. "Ha, then we'll leave now. If there's any news, just inform Wonder." Yi Chunfeng laughed, hugged the Chong Sam woman's tall and sexy body in his arms, and left the ocean-gazing pavilion. "Vice Pavilion Master, do you think there's a problem with this person?" Watching Yi Chunfeng's departing figure, an old woman with snow-white hair and a wrinkled face, Nirvana, walked out from the back hall and asked coldly. "At present, there seems to be no problem," the black-robed old man said, "but this person's identity needs to be investigated. I think Wonder should be able to find out his true identity." The white-haired old woman asked, "Then do we still need to help him find the things on the list? This is a big deal. We have no reason to give up. Moreover, my Qihai City is guarded by Nirvana Heavenly Realm Master. Who dares to make trouble here?" The black-robed old man said proudly. "What if he is Feng Chun in disguise?" The white-haired old woman pondered and asked. "Impossible." The black-robed old man shook his head and said with certainty, "Now all forces are looking for Feng Chun. He is too scared to show up. How could he dare to come to Qihai City?" The white-haired old woman nodded and said, "Well, give me the list. I will help him find it through various channels. By the way, have you collected the spiritual objects that His Majesty the Divine Emperor asked us to find?" The black-robed old man asked. "We still haven't found the Yang God Flower and Phoenix Blood Ganoderma," the white-haired old woman said. "Well, we will look for it through various channels. If we can't find it, then we will send the other spiritual objects back to the Imperial City first to avoid accidents," the black-robed old man said. "Good." With that, The white-haired old woman's body flashed slightly and left like a ghost. Mobile reading site. Book address. In order to facilitate the next reading, you can click on the save at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1407. Young Master Jean, where do you want to go? The exceedingly charming young woman in a cheongsam held Yi Chunfeng's arm intimately, didn't reveal a trace of disgust because of his ordinary appearance, and her voice was filled with a fawning tone. Let's find a place to stay first. Yi Chunfeng's small eyes narrowed as he revealed a frivolous smile as he spoke. I'll listen to you. The young woman in a cheongsam nodded before leaning her head on Yi Chunfeng's arm, and then she brought him to an inn with an elegant environment that was close to the seaside before renting a luxurious room that faced the sea to rest. Young Master Jean, I'll go prepare the bath water for you. One will accompany you to bathe in a while. The young woman in a cheongsam spoke with a gentle voice as her fair and tender face revealed 2 alluring blushes. There's no hurry. Yi Chunfeng smiled lightly as a large amount of illusory energy suddenly shot out from his eyes, and it was like 2 bottomless vortexes that instantly caused the young woman in a cheongsam to lose consciousness. After carrying the unconscious young woman in a cheongsam onto a soft and large bed, Yi Chunfeng commanded with his mind to summon the Marquis of Qianming, Lei Yi, and gave each of them 50 teleportation stones. Quickly set up 2 teleportation formations according to the location I told you earlier. Don't worry, young Master Yi, I guarantee to complete the assignment. The Marquis of Qianming and Lei Yi put away the teleportation stones and patted their chests as they guaranteed. Be careful in everything and remember to not expose your tracks and identities. Set up the teleportation formations and bring the teleportation formation discs back immediately, Yi Chunfeng instructed. After the Marquis of Qianming and Lei Yi left, Yi Chunfeng controlled the illusory Dao insight to change his appearance once more before leaving the inn by himself. He spent a large amount of money to rent a slightly dilapidated courtyard that was extremely close to the seaside before setting up a teleportation formation within the courtyard. In next to no time, 10 days had passed. During these 10 days, Yi Chunfeng utilized the illusory Dao insight to ceaselessly create some false information that entered the soul sea of a young woman in a cheongsam, causing her to completely live in an illusory world and be unable to extricate herself. On the other hand, the Marquis of Qianming, Lei Yi, who'd left Qihai City, silently set up 2 teleportation formations in the mysterious ocean that were 500 kilometers east of Qihai City, and he seized the opportunity of the night to bring the teleportation formation discs back to Qihai City. Now, I can rest assured and seize Qihai City. After setting up the 3 teleportation arrays, Yi Chunfeng was finally able to relax. With these 3 teleportation arrays, he believed that even if the ancient devil sages were chase after him, he would be able to leave with ease. After resting for a night in his room, Yi Chunfeng awoke from his sleep. The cheongsam woman had a delicate face and rosy skin. She was deeply immersed in illusions and had erotic dreams. She kept making seductive sounds. Young Master Jean, wake up. The girl in the cheongsam looked at the neatly dressed Yi Chunfeng. She recalled the crazy scenes with him and felt her body become wet. She stretched lazily, revealing her beautiful curves. What a joke! Yi Chunfeng's face was as red as an apple. Today, accompany me for a stroll. Yi Chunfeng nodded as he looked at the extremely seductive girl in the cheongsam. Well, after I take a shower. The woman in the cheongsam took off her slightly damp clothes in front of Yi Chunfeng and walked to the side of the bathtub naked. She played with the warm water in an extremely seductive manner. As she bathed, she tried to seduce Yi Chunfeng, wanting to play with him in the water. Although the cheongsam woman at this moment was very seductive and her long legs were enough to ignite the fire in men's hearts, but compared to Shui Hanyan, her appearance was far inferior. Yi Chunfeng didn't have much interest in her, let alone have an intimate relationship with her. Seeing Yi Chunfeng's indifference, the cheongsam woman didn't get angry. She washed her body, took out a clean silk dress from her spatial ring, and put it on. Then, she intimately hugged Yi Chenfeng's arm and left the inn. Young Master Jean, where do you want to go today? The Chongsam woman with a delicate face and a faint fragrance asked softly. Is there a heavenly pavilion in Qihai City? Yi Chenfeng asked. My Qihai City is one of the most famous cities in Bachi Divine Nation. The Chongsam woman with the 9-star heavenly pavilion said proudly. Come, let's go to the 9-star heavenly pavilion. Yi Chenfeng became interested in the 9-star heavenly pavilion and followed the Chongsam woman to the 9-star heavenly pavilion in the east of the city. It was built like a castle and inlaid with 9 shining stars. So lively! Are there so many people in the heavenly pavilion every day? Outside the 9-star heavenly pavilion, Yi Chenfeng found that it was packed with people. Today should be the day the heavenly pavilion elder imparted alchemy, so it attracted so many people. The Chongsam woman said softly. So it's like that. Yi Chenfeng nodded. Accompanied by the woman in the Chongsam, he walked into the crowded but extremely quiet 9-star sky pavilion. He saw a white-haired old man in alchemy robes using an alchemy technique. He was controlling a ball of deep purple flames to refine a pill the size of a longan. Beside him, there was an alchemist explaining in detail. What a strong medicinal fragrance. Master Mu is refining a Tao pill, right? The Chongsam woman took a deep breath and looked at the white-haired old man in awe. Yes, he is refining a top-grade pill, but the temperature of the flame in his body is not high enough and the ratio of the pill formula is not accurate. Even if he forcibly refines a top-grade pill, it will be a defective product. Yi Chenfeng's soul was so strong that he easily saw through the pill being refined by the purple flame and said lightly, How dare you? Who are you to talk nonsense here? Hearing Yi Chenfeng's words, many cultivators who were watching were angry and shouted loudly. I am just telling the truth, believe it or not. Yi Chenfeng said calmly, ignoring the angry eyes. Get out, you are not welcome here. A tall and sturdy bald man with thick hair all over his body, arms as thick as buckets, and explosive muscles all over his body stared fiercely at Yi Chenfeng and ordered, If you don't get out of here, I'll cripple you. As soon as his voice fell, a virtual light appeared in front of him. Yi Chenfeng quickly grabbed his throat and threw him out, causing a commotion. Bang! In the commotion, Master Mu, who was forcibly refining the pill, was disturbed. The burning, deep purple flame trembled violently and finally caused the pill to explode. How dare you? Who is making a racket here? Master Mu's failure to refine the pill angered the masters of the 9-star sky pavilion. Pairs of angry eyes shot towards Yi Chenfeng, scaring the Chongsam woman beside him so much that her face turned pale and she trembled. She grabbed Yi Chenfeng's arm tightly, not daring to let go. It was not a racket, but a statement. Even if he was not disturbed, he could not refine a top-grade Tao pill. Yi Chenfeng said calmly, not revealing any trace of panic when he felt the angry gazes directed at him. You are an alchemist. Looking at the calm Yi Chenfeng, an old man with an extraordinary aura frowned slightly and asked in a low voice. Yi Chenfeng said lightly, But I am not here to compete with you today. I am here to buy something. Humph. You disturbed eyes alchemy, and you want to buy something from my 9-star sky pavilion. Master Mu, who was slightly pale, said angrily, What are you waiting for? Take him down. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1408. Why do you want to fight? Yi Chenfeng smiled coldly. I advise you not to provoke me, or you will regret it. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test. Do you really think our 9-star pavilion is easy to bully? Master Mu, who had failed to refine elixirs, glared at the fearless Yi Chenfeng and said angrily, Sigh, a bunch of frogs at the bottom of a well. Yi Chenfeng shook his head and said, Let me ask you, do you dare to admit that you were at the limit of alchemy? Even if you succeeded, You would only refine a useless elixir. A group of Huyin Mudashi roared loudly. What are you staring blankly for? Why haven't you arrested him yet? Take me down. Yi Chenfeng sneered, and the murderous intent of blood and bones was released from his body. At this time, he was like a god of death, intimidating everyone. Who are you, and why are you making trouble at our 9-star pavilion? Sensing the killing intent emanating from Yi Chenfeng's body, the Heaven Pavilion experts were all intimidated, not daring to act rashly. I said, I am here to buy things, not to make trouble. Yi Chenfeng looked at the Heaven Pavilion masters, whose expressions changed slightly, and said lightly, I think you are here to make trouble. Although Master Mu was terrified of Yi Chenfeng's murderous intent, he did not want to lower his head, so he braced himself and said, Make trouble? You are a person who can't even refine a high-grade Dao pill. How can I make trouble for you? Is there something wrong with your head? Yi Chenfeng sneered and said disdainfully, You? Hearing Yi Chenfeng's contemptuous words, Master Mu's face darkened. Are you a 9-star alchemist or a saint master? If not, please leave the 9-star pavilion. You are not welcome here. The white-robed elder said with an ugly expression. If Yi Chenfeng's murderous intent was not so strong, he would have killed Yi Chenfeng. I am here to buy things. If I can't buy something satisfactory, I will not leave. Yi Chenfeng shook his head and said stubbornly, What if I don't sell it? The white-haired old man didn't expect Yi Chenfeng to be so arrogant and said angrily, This is not up to you. If you don't sell it, don't blame me for robbing you. Yi Chenfeng suddenly changed his expression and said domineeringly. As soon as his voice fell, the expressions of everyone present changed at the same time. Even the Chongsam woman beside, Yi Chenfeng was scared silly by Yi Chenfeng's arrogance and did not know what to do. Impudent, is my 9-star heavenly pavilion a place for you to be arrogant? Suddenly, a furious roar resounded out explosively, and then an old man that had attained the rebirth realm and wore a green robe and had a strand of long white beard suddenly appeared. Elder Zhou, you're finally here. Looking at the sudden appearance of the green-robed elder, Master Mu and the others breathed a sigh of relief and shouted, This thief is lawless and wants to rob our 9-star heavenly pavilion. Zhou Zhanglao, please capture him. Leave it to me. The green-robed old man nodded. His deep eyes emitted streaks of cold light as he said, I will make him pay for his ignorance in blood. Pa! Just as Elder Zhou finished speaking, the crisp sound of a slap rang out. Yi Chenfeng used sword steps and suddenly appeared in front of him. He used stun to slow down his reaction and sent him flying with a slap. Yi Chenfeng lost control of his body and crashed heavily into a pillar in the distance. He fell to the ground, covered in blood. Then Yi Chenfeng stepped on his face, crushing his facial bones and directly knocking him out. Silence, incomparable silence. Everyone who was filled with righteous indignation and wanted to teach Yi Chenfeng a lesson were all dumbfounded. They could not believe that the Nirvana Elder Zhou was actually slapped flying by Yi Chenfeng and stepped on his foot. Who else wants to make a move? Stand up. Yi Chenfeng stepped on Elder Zhou's face, revealing a domineering aura as he shouted arrogantly. What are you all doing in a daze? Send a message to the pavilion master for help. Although the white-robed old man and the others had extraordinary refining skills, their strength was not strong. They did not dare to meet Yi Chenfeng's sharp eyes and said in horror, You, and you, give me the Chinquan rings on your hands. Yi Chenfeng pointed to the white-robed old man, Master Mu, and the others and ordered them without any resistance. You, don't be arrogant. If you rob us, don't even think about leaving Qi Hai City alive. Master Du's heart trembled as he braced himself and warned. You don't need to worry about whether I can leave Qi Hai City alive. You only need to know that if you don't hand over the Chinquan rings, I will skin you alive. With that, Yi Chenfeng's finger sword shot out a sharp sword light, cutting through the hard ground and slashing towards Master Mu, who turned pale with fright and desperately dodging. Rumble. Although the panicked Master Mu dodged Yi Chenfeng's finger sword attack, the coiled dragonstone pillar behind him was not spared. It was shattered by Yi Chenfeng's finger, causing the front hall of the 9-star heavenly pavilion to tremble. "Jean, young Master Jean, you don't really want to rob this place, do you?" The Cheongsam woman was scared silly by this scene. Her throat rolled as she asked in horror. "That's right, today I'm going to rob this place." Yi Chen-fong nodded and said, "Young Master Jean, my Chi-Hai City Lord is a Nirvana Heavenly Realm expert. If you rob this place, the City Lord will never let you go." The Cheongsam woman kindly reminded, "Don't worry, since I dare to rob this place. I am naturally not afraid of Chi-Hai City Lord Yi Chen-fong." Looking at the Cheongsam woman's charming face, he said, "Also, you have two choices now. Either leave now or stay by my side." I. The Cheongsam woman was really scared silly and did not know what to choose. Finally, she bit her red lips and looked at Yi Chen-fong. "I will follow you." Why did Yi Chen-fong reveal a faint smile? "Because I realize that I have fallen in love with you." The Cheongsam woman looked at Yi Chen-feng's squinted small eyes and looked at his chubby face and said boldly, "Okay, don't resist. I will send you to a safe place." Yi Chen-fong originally thought that the Cheongsam woman would say that she chose to follow him because she was afraid of death. He did not expect that she would boldly confess. This made Yi Chen-fong speechless and directly teleported her to the universe realm. While they came so quickly, Yi Chen-fong had just teleported the Cheongsam woman to the universe realm when his keen perception detected more than 20 powerful auras rushing towards the 9-star sky pavilion. The 9-star sky pavilion's array restriction was completely activated, trapping Yi Chen-fong in the sky pavilion. However, Yi Chen-fong did not care about this. He coldly looked at the panicking Master Mu and the others and said, "I will count to 3. If you do not hand over the universe ring, don't blame me for being ruthless and sending you to hell." With that, Yi Chen-fong began to count, and the killing intent on his body grew stronger and stronger. I will hand it over. I will hand it over. As long as there is life, there is hope." Thinking of Yi Chen-feng's terrifying strength, Master Mu and the others' mental defenses crumbled. They all threw their universe rings to Yi Chen-fong. In their opinion, Yi Chen-fong dared to rob the 9-star sky pavilion, which was no different from courting death. Once the Chi-Hai City Lord killed Yi Chen-fong, they could take back everything that had been taken away. Those who have nothing to do quickly leave the 9-star sky pavilion. At this time, an angry roar sounded outside the 9-star sky pavilion. A Nirvana old man wearing a dark gray robe with fiery red hair and exuding a scorching aura appeared with more than 20 Chi-Hai city guards. They chased away the startled cultivators and surrounded Yi Chen-fong, who had come to rob. Mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1409. Are you the pavilion master of this 9-star sky pavilion? Looking at the 9-star badge hanging on the red-haired old man's chest, Yi Chen-fong guessed his identity and said coldly, "Watermark advertisement. Test watermark advertisement testes." The red-haired old man nodded and said, "You have guts to rob this place. It seems that you don't put I in Chi-Hai City in your eyes." "You are right. I really don't put you in my eyes." Yi Chen-fong smiled and said arrogantly, "Good guts. Today, this old man would like to experience your strength and see if your strength is as great as you say it is." The red-haired old man was so angry that he laughed. He burned his powerful bloodline power and pushed his strength to the peak of nirvana. His terrifying aura swept toward Yi Chen-fong like a surging tide. "It will be as you wish." Yi Chen-fong took a step forward and ignited his demonic god bloodline. His entire body turned crimson red in an instant, as if he was made of steel. His terrifying strength rose steadily and reached a force of 360 million Jin. He directly dispersed the terrifying aura that was pressing towards him. What great strength! Feeling the oppressive feeling from Yi Chen-feng's god-devil body, the red-haired old man's face changed slightly. He quickly took out a quasi-sacred spear, which spun in the void and evolved the great Tao, and stabbed at Yi Chen-feng. Two extreme Tao of life and death, the quasi-sacred spear, which evolved the great Tao, stabbed at him. Yi Chen-feng didn't take out any weapon and met it with his bare fist. The life and death spirit level Tao diagram spun rapidly in his fist, increasing the attack power of his fist. Boom! Yi Chen-feng's fist collided with the quasi-sacred spear. More than 300 million gene of force and the life and death spirit level Tao diagram erupted, crazily attacking the quasi-sacred spear, shattering the great Tao power evolved by the spear and forcibly pressing the quasi-sacred spear into the shape of a crescent moon. A force beyond the red-haired old man's imagination passed through the spear handle and into his arm, shaking his arm until it was severely numb. What great strength! Was this person transformed from a holy beast? How could he possess such terrifying strength? Feeling the vibrating power coming from the quasi-holy spear, the red-haired old man's expression changed slightly. He quickly changed his move and pulled back the bent spear. He quickly deduced the great Tao in midair, creating spear lights that were stronger than the last. With a power that made people despair, he attacked Yi Chen-feng with a force that could topple mountains and overturn seas. Heaven's suppressing orb melt with a single thought. Yi Chen-feng instantly fused with the power of the heaven suppression orb, instantly gaining Nirvana's peak strength. In the next moment, Yi Chen-feng activated the green heaven spell. His hands quickly formed several complicated hand seals, condensing into many hand seals that seemed to contain the sky. They continuously shattered the sea of spears that were coming at him, shaking his attack head-on. Qing Tianju, you are from the Nine Heavens God Kingdom. Feeling the heavenly energy pouring into Yi Chen-feng's body, the red-haired old man mistook him for an expert from the Nine Heavens divine nation. You talk too much nonsense. After using the blue sky seal to break the red-haired old man's attack, Yi Chen-feng used the sword steps and suddenly increased his speed by 10 times. He tore through the chaotic void and appeared beside the red-haired old man. He interweaved the heavenly Tao plate and attacked the red-haired old man. Demonic heavenly spear break. The red-haired old man fused the two Tao diagrams into the quasi-holy spear. He stabbed the heavenly Tao plate that was like a black hole, shattering space and resisting the heavenly Tao plate's attack. Not good. Suddenly, he felt a trace of uneasiness in his heart and instinctively wanted to dodge. But the bronze sword soul's attack speed was even faster. In the blink of an eye, it appeared in front of him and turned into a foot-long sword light. It tore through the red-haired old man's defense and left a deep sword wound on his chest. A large amount of blood uncontrollably spurted out. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and help the pavilion master kill the enemy. Seeing the red-haired old man injured, Master Mu was shocked and ordered loudly. Buzz, 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 the Qi city guards regained their senses and summoned their Tao treasures. They attacked Yi Chen-feng, wanting to borrow the strength of everyone to heavily injure Yi Chen-feng. Blue sky art, desolate furnace of heaven facing the attacks of more than 20 Tao treasures. The three great spirit-level Tao diagrams appeared on Yi Chen-feng's body. He deduced the three great Tao intents to the extreme and transformed them into a desolated furnace that was interwoven with innate vein patterns. With the pressure of the heavenly Tao, it crushed the Tao treasures one after another and knocked the heavily injured red-haired old man flying before suppressing him onto the shaking ground. With a loud explosion, it was earth-shattering. Under the attack of Yi Chen-feng's desolate furnace of heavens, over a dozen Taoist treasures were directly reduced to dust. As for the dozen or so Qi city guards who were unable to dodge in time, they were forcibly crushed to death by the desolate furnace of heavens. They were reduced to a large amount of blood that flowed in the collapsed ground. Yi Chen-feng had killed more than 10 Qi city guards with a single powerful strike. Yi Chen-feng turned to look at Grandmaster Mu, who had turned pale with fright. The soul of a 4-star Tao saint formed a terrifying dizziness. Like a heavy hammer, it smashed into Grandmaster Mu's soul sea, directly shattering his soul and killing him on the spot. Seeing Yi Chunfeng make Master Mu, who was a 6-star combat beast emperor, bleed from his 7 orifices and die on the spot, the white-robed old man and the others were scared silly. They quickly retreated, afraid that they would follow in Master Mu's footsteps. True devil transformation, devil body. After experiencing Yi Chunfeng's terror, the red-haired old man immediately used the inherited magic of the Orochi royal family and transformed into a terrifying devil body. A large amount of devil chi erupted like a volcano. His whole body grew bigger and bigger, and a pair of bat wings grew out. His strength reached the limit of nirvana. Transformation, was it useful? Looking at the red-haired old man who had transformed into a devil body, Yi Chunfeng showed a trace of ridicule. His body flashed, and he approached him with a powerful pressure. Dragon subduing pillars. When the red-haired old man attacked with a shocking amount of devil chi, the 3 spirit-level Tao diagrams above Yi Chunfeng's head turned into 9 dragon subduing pillars. They descended from the sky and suppressed the entire space, making the red-haired old man feel as if he was being suppressed by 9 towering mountains. It became difficult for him to breathe. Several shrewd guards who had just escaped, as well as all the people who stayed in the front hall of Heaven Pavilion, could not resist the suppression of the 9 dragon subduing pillars. They were directly crushed into meat paste and died on the spot. Dragon subduing pillars. How did you know the inherited magic of the Orochi royal family? Withstanding the pressure of the 9 dragon subduing pillars, the red-haired old man's face changed instantly. Suddenly, a name that made his heart tremble appeared in his mind. He could not help but exclaim, "You are Feng Chun. Congratulations, you are right." Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up slightly, revealing a devilish smile. He took out the dragon's spine, sacred sword, and slashed forward. One-line sword cut. The bronze sword soul and the dragon spine sacred sword merged together, and a force of more than 150 million pounds was completely unleashed. Yi Chunfeng stabbed out with his sword, killing without mercy. The terrifying one-line sword radiance directly tore through the space and pierced the red-haired old man's body under his horrified gaze. In the face of this attack, the red-haired old man instinctively summoned a quasi-holy treasure-level bronze shield to defend himself. However, Yi Chunfeng's sword was too powerful. The quasi-holy treasure-level bronze coffin could not withstand it at all. The dragon spine's sacred sword pierced through the red-haired old man's chest like a hot knife through butter. Bang! The red-haired old man's body was completely crushed by the bronze sword's soul and the power of more than 150 million pounds. He directly exploded and died on the spot. Mobile reading site. Book address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1410. What? Someone robbed the 9-star Heavenly Pavilion's ocean, gazing pavilion's vice pavilion master in public? When the black-robed elder who had received Yi Chunfeng found out that the 9-star Heavenly Pavilion had been robbed, he revealed an extremely shocked expression. Who exactly was it that dared to rob the 9-star Heavenly Pavilion? Reporting to Deputy Pavilion Master, I heard that the 9-star Heavenly Pavilion's people are all dead. Currently, we have not found out who robbed the 9-star Heavenly Pavilion. The informant at the Wanghai Pavilion reported, but the Qihai City's imperial bodyguards are rushing over there. I think we will be able to catch the real culprit who robbed the 9-star Heavenly Pavilion soon. Go continue to investigate. If you have the latest news, report to me immediately. The black-robed elder thought for a moment and said, Tai Yi, I think this matter is very unusual. Do you think the person who robbed the 9-star pavilion is the man, surnamed Jean, who bought the transmission stone? When the spy in the Wanghai Pavilion left, the white-haired old woman appeared like a gust of wind and said with a frown, It's possible. The black-robed elder nodded and took out his communication pearl. I will contact Warner now and see if I can get any important information from her. I can't get in touch. The black-robed elder took out his communication pearl and tried several times, but he couldn't get in touch with the woman in the Cheongsam. This made his brows knit together tightly. He smelled something unusual. There was definitely something wrong with that man, surnamed Jean. Several thoughts flashed through the black-robed elder's mind. He quickly took out a hexagonal array disc and opened a restriction of the Wanghai Pavilion to prevent any accidents. Just as the black-robed elder opened a restriction of the Wanghai Pavilion, a deep voice suddenly sounded. "It's broad daylight. Isn't the Wanghai Pavilion going to do business?" "It's him. He actually came to my Wanghai Pavilion." Hearing Yi Chunfeng's voice, the black-robed elder and the black-robed elder's expressions changed slightly. They immediately went to the window and saw Yi Chunfeng in a luxurious robe, his body stained with blood, appear outside the Wanghai Pavilion. "What? You don't welcome me?" Yi Chunfeng raised his head slightly and looked at the black-robed elder standing by the window through the powerful restriction array. He asked with a smile that wasn't a smile, "If you have come to buy something, my sea-gazing pavilion will naturally welcome you. However, I'm afraid that you have come with other motives. If that is the case, my sea-gazing pavilion will not welcome you," the black-robed old man said in a deep voice as he looked down at Yi Chunfeng. "Well, since you said so, then I will be honest." Yi Chunfeng smiled and said, "You are right. I am here to rob you today. It seems that the ransacking of the 9-star heavenly pavilion was also your intention." The black-robed old man looked at Yi Chunfeng with a gaze like lightning, wanting to see through him. "That's right." Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, "But Qihai City's Jiuxing Tiange is a bit poor. It can't satisfy my appetite. There's no other way. I can only plunder you. I hope your Wanghai Lu Pavilion has good things stored away. Don't let me down." The black-robed old man said with a gloomy face, "Today, I would like to see how you come in." Yi Chunfeng sneered. He pointed his finger that had fused with the bronze sword soul and pointed at the restriction that was like a waterfall of light falling from the pavilion. Crack, crack, crack. Under the attack of Yi Chunfeng's fused with the bronze sword soul, the waterfall-like restriction instantly showed crisscrossing cracks, shocking the black-robed old man. How is this possible? How could he find the weak point of the restriction? The black-robed old man found that Yi Chunfeng had broken the restriction with one finger. His heart was in turmoil, creating a strong sense of unease. While the black-robed elder was still in shock, Yi Chunfeng quickly tapped with his finger again, directly shattering the restrictions on the ocean, viewing pavilion's formation. Under the black-robed elder's shocked gaze, Yi Chunfeng walked in calmly. Who are you?" The black-robed old man didn't expect Yi Chunfeng to be so strong. Watching him walk over step by step, his heart trembled. "Who do you think I am?" Yi Chunfeng smiled slightly, looking at the black-robed old man's terrified expression, and said in a low voice, You're not Feng Chun, are you?" In the entire Central World, there were only a few people who dared to provoke the Octahead Kingdom. While the black-robed old man was shocked, a name flashed through his mind. "In fact, you should have played dumb." Yi Chunfeng's pupils constricted. He stepped on his sword and flew toward the shocked black-robed old man. He didn't wait for the old man to transmit this important news and launched a tide-like attack at him. Cosmos sword formation with a thought. 108 Cosmos swords flew out of Yi Chunfeng's body and quickly evolved into a sword diagram. In an instant, they suppressed the black-robed old man's attack and attacked his body. Cosmos strike after suppressing the black-robed old man's attack. Yi Chunfeng immediately merged the Cosmos swords together, turning them into a powerful Cosmos sword, and slashed over with the momentum of heaven and earth. "Stop!" Feeling the power of the Cosmos strike, an old man in a linen robe, whose realm had reached nirvana, roared angrily and tried his best to rescue the black-robed old man. However, the attack speed of the Cosmos strike was too fast, and the linen-robed old man was unable to rescue him. He could only watch as the Cosmos sword shattered the numerous defensive trump cards that the black-robed old man had continuously summoned and split him in half, killing him on the spot. "Junior, I will definitely skin you alive today to avenge Pavilion Master Tai." Looking at the black-robed old man's corpse in a pool of blood, the linen-robed old man, who didn't know Yi Chunfeng's identity, was furious. With boundless killing intent and demonic aura, he attacked Yi Chunfeng. Lei Yi, destroy him for me. Yi Chunfeng summoned Lei Yi and his two clones from the Cosmos Mirror and ordered loudly. Spatial treasure, Nirvana heavenly realm expert. Two clones, you are Feng Chun. Seeing Lei Yi, the sword puppet, the golden battle god, the linen-robed old man, the white-haired old woman, and the others were shocked. They guessed Yi Chunfeng's identity and gave up on attacking, wanting to quickly leave. It's too late to leave now, Yi Chunfeng sneered. He stepped forward with his sword and pushed his speed to the limit. He sealed off their escape space and crazily killed the linen-robed old man and the others with Lei Yi, who was holding the 10,000 calamity flag. Although the linen-robed old man was strong and had reached the peak of nirvana, he was powerless against Lei Yi, who was holding a mid-grade sacred treasure, the 10,000 calamity flag. In an instant, his body was torn apart by the 10,000 calamity flag and turned into a bloody mist. He died on the spot. Lei Yi, two clones, kill them all. I'll plunder the treasures of the Sea View Pavilion. After killing the strongest linen-robed old man and the others, Yi Chunfeng ordered. With that, Yi Chunfeng took away the belongings of the linen-robed old man and the others. He broke through the layers of restrictions and arrived at the treasure vault of the Sea View Pavilion. He controlled the Cosmos Mirror and plundered the Sea View Pavilion's tens of thousands of years of collection. When Yi Chunfeng plundered the Sea View Pavilion and Lei Yi's two clones mercilessly killed the experts in the Sea View Pavilion, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul force sensed the aura of a Nirvana heavenly realm expert. This person was the Qi City Lord, a Nirvana heavenly realm expert, Qi Jinxiu, who was conferred the title of Demon Sea King. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Collect button below to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1411. How dare you come to my Qi City to cause trouble, loot the 9 Stars Pavilion, and destroy my Wanghai Pavilion. I swear I will grind your bones to dust. Looking at the hemp-robed old man and the others who died tragically in a pool of blood, and the Wanghai Pavilion that burned the heaven and earth, Demon Sea King Qi Jinxiu went mad with anger. He let out an uncontrollable roar, and his terrifying voice reverberated throughout the entire Qi City. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement test. I even dared to destroy the Imperial Palace, let alone your little Qi City. Yi Chunfeng sneered, standing fearlessly in the void, and said domineeringly, What? Destroy the Imperial Palace? Your Feng Chen? Hearing Yi Chunfeng's domineering words and seeing his fearless eyes, the furious demon, Sea King, widened his eyes. The anger in his heart was completely replaced by fear. Yi Chunfeng admitted frankly, Do you think Qi Chengtian would be angry if I killed you? You're not stupid. Yi Chunfeng said, Do you think Qi Chengtian would be furious if I killed you? Whoosh! Thinking that Yi Chunfeng was protected by a 4-star Dao Saint, Demon Sea King did not hesitate to use his secret technique. He transformed into a series of afterimages and escaped from Qi City at an extremely fast speed. What happened? Why did the city lord run away? Who is that guy? The Qi City experts who were hiding in the distance and waiting for Demon Sea King to show his might were shocked to find that Demon Sea King, who they regarded as a god in their hearts, actually ran away without a fight. Can you run away? Yi Chunfeng's voice sounded like thunder. He summoned the 4-star Dao Saint Song Kuan-Wu. Senior Song, and this quickly. Don't let him escape, Yi Chunfeng said. Don't worry, he can't run away. Song Kuan-Wu roared and raised his speed to the peak. He turned into a stream of light and chased after Demon Sea King with a speed that was several times faster than Demon Sea King. No! Feeling that Song Kuan-Wu was getting closer and closer to him, Demon Sea King's heart was filled with panic. He did not hesitate to burn the power of his bloodline and summoned a powerful quasi-sage treasure to attack Song Kuan-Wu and slow him down. Kunwa region one after another. The quasi-saint treasures flew over, and Song Kuan-Wu immediately controlled the Kunwa mirror to attack, blasting away the quasi-saint treasures and attacking Demon Sea King. Even though Demon Sea King was a Nirvana Heavenly Realm expert, and his reaction speed was extremely fast, he couldn't dodge the attacks of Kunwa Mirror. He was struck by the mirror rays one after another, tearing apart his defenses and worsening his injuries. Dragon subduing stake as his injuries continued to worsen. Devil Sea King immediately cast a secret technique and forcibly formed 9 dragon subduing pillars to suppress Song Kunwu. He wanted to slow him down. However, after consolidating his 4th level Dao Saint realm, Song Kunwu's strength was several times stronger than the Devil Sea King's. Under his Dao intent attack, the dragons subduing pillars that could suppress heaven and earth shattered one after another. While Song Kuan-Wu was chasing after Devil Sea King with his absolute strength, Yi Qinfeng arrived at the City Lord's mansion. He forcefully broke through the restrictions of the City Lord's mansion and killed several experts who resisted, plundering everything in the City Lord's mansion. After plundering the City Lord mansion, Yi Qinfeng went on to plunder the properties of the Orochi royal family in Qihai City, shocking the entire Qihai City and causing a huge uproar. What? Qihai City was plundered by Feng Chun? Everyone, including the Devil Sea King, was killed. The 9-star Celestial Pavilion and Sea Gazing Pavilion were plundered clean. When Qihai City was plundered by Yi Qinfeng, Qi Chantian, who was far away in the Orochi royal family, was the first to receive the news. He was so angry that he shattered the armrest of his dragon throne with a palm strike. Raging flames of anger exploded in his chest. Feng Chun, I swear that I will kill you. Divergent Sea City was an important trade city of the Octave Divine Kingdom, and the Devil Sea King was a famous expert of the Octave Divine Kingdom. He had guarded the border of the mysterious sea for tens of thousands of years, and his might shook the world. But now, Divergent Sea City had been plundered, and the Devil Sea King had died in battle. To the Octave Divine Kingdom, this had caused an immeasurable loss. More importantly, the Wanghai Pavilion offered a high reward through various channels. They were only missing the Phoenix Blood Ganoderma to gather the 3 main ingredients of the Heavenly Saint Breaking Pellet. Now that it was taken by Yi Qinfeng, Qi Chantian was so angry that he was about to lose his mind. Sky Bearing calmed down. Qi Yixin, who had already come out of seclusion, looked at the furious Qi Qingtian and said in a low voice, Feng Chun has the protection of a 4-star Dao Saint. He is a great threat to our Orochi royal family. We can only rely on Lord Devil Spirit Saint to kill him. But Lord Devil Spirit Saint, that human brat, leave him to me. I will go and destroy him. Suddenly, a deep voice filled with killing intent sounded in the oppressive hall. Shrouded in the light of death, the Devil Spirit Saint, whose appearance could not be seen, clearly appeared in the hall. Thank you, Lord Devil Spirit Saint. Seeing the Devil Spirit Saint suddenly appear, Qi Yixin and his son were overjoyed and stood up. Tell me the location of Qihai City, the Devil Spirit Saint said without a trace of emotion. Yes. Qi Chantian immediately took out a map of the Orochi royal family and marked the location of Qihai City. Whoosh! A black light flashed, and the Devil Spirit Saint, who was shrouded in the light of death, disappeared. He rushed towards Qihai City at an astonishing speed. With Lord Devil Spirit Saint taking action, that Feng Chun was dead for sure. It was just a pity that all his treasures would be lost. Qi Qingtian sighed softly. He guessed that the Devil Spirit Saint took the initiative to attack because he coveted Yi Qinfeng's secrets. Otherwise, with his status, he would not be ordered around by them. Island, beach, green shade. After killing the Devil Sea King and looting Qihai City, Yi Qinfeng immediately flew into the mysterious sea. He hit on a small island and entered the universe realm. This Qihai City was too rich. After checking his loot, Yi Qinfeng revealed a satisfied smile. After looting Qihai City, Yi Qinfeng obtained a total of 33 mid-grade heaven crystals, over 600 low-grade heaven crystals, 3 sacred pills, 2 low-grade sacred swords, 2 low-grade sacred weapons, 2 quasi-sacred swords, countless Dao items, Dao treasures, and natural treasures. Among them were 3 Dao steels that contained complete Dao intent, as well as 2 great inherited sacred skills of Yamata Divine Nation, the 9 Shadows of True Fiend and the Great Soul-Chasing Hand, which were never taught to outsiders. In addition to these, the Ocean Gazing and also found a third of the treasures on the list Yi Chunfeng gave to the Ocean Gazing Inn. These treasures were extremely important to Yi Chunfeng. Yes, these were the 3 main ingredients for refining the Heavenly Saint Breaking Pellet. As Yi Chunfeng continued to check his loot from the Ocean Gazing Inn, he unexpectedly found 3 main ingredients for refining the Heavenly Saint Breaking Pellet. However, these 3 main ingredients were missing the Phoenix Blood Ganoderma. He also did not find the Rebirth Fruit during this looting, so he was unable to refine the Heavenly Saint Breaking Pellet. Chi Ching Tian, I wonder if you're satisfied with this gift of mine? After distributing the looted treasures to Lei Yi, the Marquis of Qianming, and the others, Yi Chunfeng thought of another plan to take revenge on the Orochi royal family. He planned to spread the cultivation chants of the 9 true demonic shadows and the great soul-chasing hand to continue shaking the foundation of the Orochi royal family and cause chaos in the Orochi royal family. 5 days later, Yi Chunfeng refined a saint pill that he looted. After increasing his strength slightly, he left the Qinquan realm and appeared on the isolated island. Just as he was about to return to the Octahead Divine Nation and continue his revenge plan, a terrifying aura that made him shudder locked onto him, causing all the hair on his body to stand on end. He smelled a strong sense of danger. In the next moment, he saw a black shadow that devoured all light in the void. It stepped on the void and walked toward him step by step. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on Save at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.